Hey there, hi there, ho there, everybody. It's Mindfulpig here, and this is the Two Tired Dudes podcast. On this episode, Fundead and myself and the rest of the basement gaming community discuss live service games, physical copy versus digital copy, and a few other topics. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in each week and listening to these podcasts, and hope you enjoy the show. Yeah, I usually try to stream beforehand, um, just to like if anyone's on, just I guess to hype up for the podcast.
Fair.
um,
A nice idea.
Yeah, yeah. It was an older one. It wasn't that what do you call it? Battle for Bikini Bottoms. It was Truth or Square, I think it's called. Basically just like a adventure game. You just go through each level and do whatever the tasks are. They're all pretty simple. Just I don't know why the Squidward one was throwing me right off. I just kept messing up. Hey, 2-6. Sorry, I know your name's not 2-6 on here. Force a habit. I get it. All right. Okay. Well, I can hear you. Perfect. Okay. So, like I was saying, because I've been on here before, usually I do this with Fundead. So he started off the whole podcast, and just yeah, after a while, everyone from Basement Gaming wanted to hop on, so we switched. We used to do it on Minecraft, just the two of us talking. Now we do it on Discord. Cat Trooper was nice enough to have the topic of discussion this time around. So, sorry, Cat Trooper. Let's see here. Where was it? Live service games, are they good, bad, and why? Was his question for the week. Before that, we just kind of go around the table and just talk about what we've been up to the week, or what games we played, movies, TV shows, all that jazz. So yeah, Cat Trooper, it's been a while, buddy. Why don't you get us all started? What have you been up to recently?
Well, working, but beside that, I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy and Valorant, and that's pretty much all the gaming I've been doing.
Yeah, I saw your opinion change there on Valorant. You got a little more into it.
Uh, yes and no. It's kind of hard to say. I like it, but I'm not like super in love with it. Like I appreciate the design behind it, but I'm not sure I'm the hardcore enough for the game. So how about I start with the beginning, where it looks like one of those typical hero shooters, right?
Okay.
But it's way more strategic and all about roles and placement, and not about the heroes or about shooting the other guy. I mean, it is, but it's all about really placement, map knowledge, and yeah, basically that. So it's kind of hard to explain because you have to like unlearn a lot of stuff that you've learned from normal shooter games to get good at it, and it can be quite frustrating.
So like you mean
And
like it's more like than beyond like let's say like Battlefield or like games like that where you have like your medic, your assault, and your recon. There's
yeah, no, it's nothing like that.
oh
The way
okay
it works is that characters are regrouped into roles, which those roles are assigned to, I guess, depending on your playstyle, what you prefer. So let's say duelists are like a couple of characters, and they go to the front to basically they're a scout, right? They go to the front. They're typically very fast compared to other characters, and they scout for information, for enemy placement, and all that. And so they're basically ready to go forward, duel the enemy they come across, and most probably die. Like they're supposed to be
okay
prepared to die, I think, compared to let's say I think a commando. I'm not sure if that's the name of the role, but basically they are characters where they usually have skills where they can see the whole map and they can place traps and stuff on the map. They're way more, tactical in that sense.
okay
Um, and it's really based on what you prefer as your playstyle. Like you're not obligated to have, let's say, all these roles in a game. So in that sense, I think this is the best game in terms of heroes. Every heroes are like super well balanced. Uh, Nobody has some like OP skills or ultimate or stuff like that. The skills usually uh, just adds to the number of tools you have in a match. So let's say you have like walls that can blind view or walls that block ways. There's no like an enemy that has like a billion missiles to throw at someone. It's nothing like that. All their skills are very tactical, more so than there to kill the enemy, right?
Okay. Do you find that the matches take a little bit longer than like let's say Apex or Fortnite or it sounds like there's a little more strategy, put into it. So I'm just curious if the
It
matches take longer or not.
it depends of the mods that you select. There's the
Okay.
normal one where it's like I think you need to win 13 matches, uh, so it can be quite long. Like this morning, I had a game of 1 hour because we were losing like 12-5, and then we ended up going back up all the way, and we won 13-12. So
Okay.
it's very unpredictable. You can. I thought for sure we were going to lose, and we ended up going back up.
That's pretty
So there's
cool.
that mod. There's the shorter mode where it's the same thing, where it's plant the bomb, but with five, you need to win 5 rounds instead of 12 or 13. I mean, there's a mode where there's a death match, but without hero powers, so it's just, I guess, a normal shooter in that sense. And there's escalation where every team starts with the same weapon, and the more you shoot, the more the weapon changes along. Like
Oh,
there's
okay.
new weapon, so you start off, let's say, with a pistol, and
Yeah.
then if your team kills that amount of kills, then it upgrades to a sniper, let's say, and so it's the first one that ends up to the end, to the end of all the weapons. And there's this mode as well where it's the plant the bomb again, but everybody has the same random weapon every round. So everybody has like a shotgun, let's say, or stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's basically the same modes, but with slight differences,
Well, the leveling up thing
which
kind of
makes it interesting.
the leveling up thing kind of reminds me of what's that one called? Rogue Company, where I think like every new match or whatever, you got to like upgrade your weapon or buy a better one. But yeah, you all started off like shitty, and then who's ever doing the best slowly moves up.
Well, there are some similarities with Rogue Company. Well, I think Rogue Company had maybe uh, inspired a bit by Valorant, but
Could
the
be,
thing
yeah.
is, Rogue Company is a very action-oriented game,
Yes, yeah.
and I'm really annoyed because Rogue Company used to be like Valorant, where it wasn't about the hero you had. It's just every hero had this special ability on top of having weapons and stuff, so it was all um, very fair and more about the gameplay than having the right hero. But as Rogue Company went on, it became more about, having the OP hero where his skills is to throw a billion missiles at someone and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I got taken off. So so yeah, I really appreciate the design behind Valorant, behind its map. Its maps are really good in general. They are very well made, and it complements with all the characters and how they're super well balanced as well. So I think in that sense it's really good. Um,
If you're
but
looking for
like I
like a
say,
time sinker.
the shooting is different. It's not like you can just run in and shoot
Yeah.
because it's highly inaccurate when you move, like more so than any normal shooter games. So you really have to like not move or slightly move to keep your aim while shooting the person. Like it's counterintuitive compared to other game. And so yeah, I hate the how how long it takes to unlock a hero. Like it's not like you buy them like a normal game. You have to accept a contract with X hero, and then you need to earn X amount of XP to unlock until rank 5 of that contract, and then you unlock the hero. It
Oh,
takes
okay.
a while, like a really, really long time to do that. Like they give you 2 free ones at the beginning. I mean, free, like unlock agent,
Yep.
where it skips the whole grind. But that's the other thing. It's not very, it's not like, it has trouble telling you what things are in this game. Like it took me like until I upgraded 6th level before I realized how we could unlock agent. I didn't know how before. I thought I was just leveling my profile, but it wasn't. So I ended up wasting like 6 ranks and many fights before realizing I needed to pick a contract.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
So what do you like? What could you buy for the game then? Like just different skins, I guess, if you can't buy characters.
I'm honestly not sure. I get like I wish Sleepy was here because she could have told us, but
Oh, okay,
you earn mostly XP, but you sometimes earn as well Radiant Quens or something like that,
okay.
which I'm not sure what they do yet. And that's what I mean. A lot of stuff like this I get, or it's not telling you what is what or how. Or
Oh,
same
okay.
thing with the roles. I didn't. I thought it was just there were just heroes. It took me like 10 ranks before I realized there were roles to these heroes. So
All right.
uh,
How about on the
it's
other?
not very helpful for new people. I think it's quite a hardcore game. So
Yeah, it
I
almost
have
would.
trouble seeing a casual player get into it.
I was gonna say it almost needs like a very deep tutorial then.
Yeah,
That sounds very
compared to
complicated.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, in some ways. Um, yeah, it's certainly for hardcore. It's certainly for people that want it more strategic, and it's original in the way they tackled all this. So I appreciate it for that, but I'm not like I say. It's not like oh I must play. It's such a good game. I like playing it, but uh, there's a lot of weirdness to it, weird quirks about it that I think a lot of people could head into, but it's not easily approachable.
I get that. How about on the other side of the fence, though? I got to hear quite a few people's reviews for Hogwarts. Obviously, super show. But what about you, Ketchup? How are you liking Hogwarts?
Oh, it's great. I'm loving it. Um, there's so much to say about it, really. Um, Anybody that likes customization will love that game. You get to constantly customize. You get to, capture creatures and put them in your sort of weird room of requirements and
Okay.
brew potions and, a bunch of stuff. The combat is super fun and you can combo it really good with a bunch of stuff. Um, I wish there were more slots so I could do more skills because you constantly need to switch between slots because you can only use like 4 skills per slot. So you constantly need to switch if you want certain skills, and there's many skills. So at some point it gets cumbersome to switch between those sets of skills constantly. But I love comboing everything. The enemy variation is a bit limited, to be honest.
Okay.
Like you have trolls, spiders, evil witches, and goblins, and that's and I guess wolves, and that's most of the enemies you'll encounter the whole game, just in different situations. And but it's still For me, the gameplay is fun enough that it doesn't bother me, but I can see people thinking it's quite repetitive at some point, especially with a around 30-hour main game,
And
because there's a lot of quests, side quests and main quests and all that, and I've had fun with all of them really. Like I don't have a lot of good things. I mean, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it, but I can see the problems with it that some people might have. Like I said, with the repetition.
yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, right, as long as you're getting your money out of it, like that's perfect. Not much more you
Yeah.
could ask for. I know, like I was talking to a few people about it. So I guess there's no Quidditch yet in it, but that might be an add-on at one point, which would be kind of cool. Is there like other things that are kind of missing in the game that you think might be added on with the DLC? I mean, that one's
Well,
obviously a big one, but
here's the thing. I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so I'm not the best person to ask of what's missing in
oh,
a
okay, okay,
Harry Potter game. Um, but for now, I know there's already a lot to this game
yeah,
that you
okay.
could of stuff to do. Like I said, side quests, whatever, Merlin trials, which are like small puzzles. There's all sorts of puzzles, which I'm a big fan of puzzle games, so I've been having a lot of fun with them. Just running around and just you really lose track of time when you play this game, and it's quite fun. And it even made searching for collectibles really fun. So
Hey, that's pretty impressive.
yeah,
That's not an easy
because I'm
thing to
not a
do.
fan of it usually.
Me too, yeah. I hate like with Assassin's Creed, like the looking for the feathers and all that kind of crap. It was just too
Yeah.
much. um okay, so that's for your gaming wise. And then TV show, I'm always looking forward to this part. So how's your Last of Us adventure going?
It's still very good, very great.
Yeah.
It follows the games quite closely, I would say, but it's not a perfect shot for shot. Like there are some slight differences, but the core of it is still very much like the game, so it makes the show great. And all the episodes have been really good, except maybe for me the episode 3 where there wasn't anything really going on. Like I
Yeah.
remember 3 or 4 where it's just you see the backstory of Joel's friend, where
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't too keen on that episode. Thought it was a waste of time, but otherwise it's been really awesome and close to the game. So I can't wait to see it through.
Well, especially so because you played it, right? So like obviously you could tell as the story started to progress closer to the end.
Yeah, well, I mean they've skipped a lot of fights and stuff,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's one of the reasons I actually disliked that episode where you see the backstory of Joel's friend, because he's supposed to be a doom prepper, right? So when the whole zombie thing happens, he booby traps like the whole town in the game, and so you get to play with Joel and go around those traps, and at some point even get taken by one and then be in a danger. And it was such a cool moment of that game, and all of that has been skipped in the show. So that was a bit of a disappointment. But like I said, otherwise it's been really good. Uh, I think the last episode we saw a backstory of Ellie, which was really nice.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
and we're getting close to the end now. So,
Ooh.
well, anyway, in terms of game events, we're coming
Yeah.
to close to the end of the first one. So, uh, yep, can't wait to see the next one. I have to say though, Crave on PlayStation is shit. Like it constantly bugs out. Like it's going to say like, oh, I'm not connected, then I can't connect, and it's always around the time that Last of Us releases an episode. So I don't know if their
Oh.
servers get overwhelmed or something, but um, it's just I keep having problem with Crave, uh, and I don't think it's worth the super amount, the super pricey amount, because Crave is, because of HBO, it's particularly higher price than other streaming services, right? So, plus the player and the UI and everything is just old. Seems old uh, compared to other streaming services.
I wonder if it's just on the PlayStation they would have that issue with, or if you try it like on a different,
It's possible.
yeah.
I should try or ask people or something because on PlayStation right now it keeps bugging and it's annoying.
But you're right, I could say it, right? Because it's popular enough where, yeah, maybe it's just too many people at the same time. Um,
And yeah, because I've heard in the past that Amazon Prime was problematic on Xboxes for some reason. So it's possible that it's a console thing or that
could
it's
be.
a server thing. It seems to me like a server thing. So it's probably because of The Last of Us.
And then I don't know if I'm correct on this or not, Catcher, but I'm pretty sure I saw you on the Super Show Discord mention it. But did you go and see some new movies recently?
Yes, I went to see the Luther movie at the cinemas.
Okay, I was gonna ask. I honestly saw no trailers or anything for that one, and the first thing I thought of was that old TV show, Luther. I guess not
It
that
is
old,
that
but
show.
is it okay? Okay, so it is connected. Okay.
Yes. Well, that's the weird thing. Luther is a detective TV show
Yeah.
which has 5 seasons now, and for years and years they've been wanting to make a Luther movie to be brought to the big screen and all that, and it's been hard to get it done. Now Netflix has helped them make that happen. So if you
Oh.
read articles about it, they will tell you, oh, it's going to be on Netflix towards March or end of February, blah blah blah, all that.
Okay.
What the articles don't tell you though is that in selected cinemas it comes out as well. And I wasn't even. I'm a big fan of it. Like I constantly look for info about the creators, that show, and everything about it. It's one of my favorite show ever. And I didn't even know it was coming out in cinemas. Like if Cineplex didn't send me an email saying, "Well, look, this is out," I would have never seen it. Period. And so yeah, no, I got surprised, and immediately when I got the email, I bought a ticket for the same night and went to see it. And it was awesome and very
Yeah.
surprising. A lot of surprises.
Nice.
Um, it's kind of hard to talk about it without spoilers.
Yeah. No. No. Of course. No. I'm actually excited to think that it's actually the same show because I was hoping I was like, what if he means like the TV show? I didn't know they were making a movie for it though. That's neat.
And even if you didn't see the TV show, you could watch the movie and still understand what is going on.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
just I would still recommend the show because you would get much more out of it, right? But you can still watch it, just
Yeah. You can
even though
still
you
enjoy
don't
it.
have, yeah. And it's really good. I recommend it. The thing that's fun with Luther is that every season it's like very different from one to
Yeah.
another, and the movie is no exception. It's very different than the show, and really goes to places that you don't expect. So
Nice. That's exciting. Thanks. And it's good to know it's
yeah,
coming on Netflix too.
yep, coming on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie. I think it's the problem. I know it's the first I know of Netflix movie that was in the cinema as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's surprising actually. They're branching out a little.
Yep.
Um, and then of course, Cat Trooper, how's your book going along? Is it still doing pretty good? You can find any time for it, or
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah?
sometimes I say I have work, and I also mean sometimes I mean actual work,
Oh, okay.
and sometimes I mean work as writing because they're both they're work, both of them.
Of course they are. Yeah,
Like writing, you could write for fun, but you'll never end a full novel if you just write when you feel like it or for fun.
very
If
true.
you want to complete a full novel, you really need to put your time and the more that you can write the better. So if you can write every day you do it. And of course I work during the day, so I try to do it after work or at night. And So sometimes I say I'm occupied with work, and I mean actually writing, but they're both work. So that's how
Oh,
I see it.
oh, that's awesome. Good for you, man. Like I said, it is hard to set that time aside, so it's good that you're able to make that work always.
Yeah. Well, I have half of the 13th chapter out of like 15-ish, so I'm
That's
getting
pretty
there.
damn good. Wow. And I see you've joined Mr. Funded. Hello.
I have. Just give me just a little bit, and I'm almost ready.
Oh yeah, no worries, cause that works out perfectly. 2-6 if you want, buddy. So I don't care if you said if you stream or not, but basically, first time being on, so go ahead and if you have any plugs you want to throw out there, or Twitch content creating, side hustles, whatever it is you want to advertise, by all means, go right ahead. And then just yeah, kind of let us know a little about yourself that you're, of course, willing to share.
I don't stream, sadly. You can't really stream on PlayStation, but um, I don't have much to share about myself. I've been playing a lot of Apex and Warzone lately. Those are pretty good games. I'm not good at talking, so you're gonna have to deal with that.
No worries, no worries. Like minus Apex and Warzone, like what kind of games are you usually into? Is it just like shooters, just online games?
Um, I prefer like survival type games like Minecraft, 7 Days to Die, and stuff like that.
Nice.
It's Yeah,
Oh,
that's a majority of what I play.
did you play Son of the Forest? I think that came out. That's a survival game, right?
I'm trying to save up to get that. I don't have the money for it right now.
I see.
Yeah, it looks really good. I like the backstory behind it, but I just haven't had the money to be able to get it.
Okay, and that one's like a sequel, right? Like there was a game before that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was called the Forest.
I think the Son of the Forest is like the like have you played The Forest or watched a playthrough of it?
No, no. Like I only heard about this game all of a sudden because of Son of the Forest. Like people were talking so much about it.
All right, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I'll
Yeah.
have to.
It mm,
Go ahead, 2-6.
I was just going to say it's a really interesting game.
I still have to
Well,
even
I mean,
try.
if
Oh, what's that other one? Firewatch. Like everyone always talked about that game too, and I still have yet to play that.
I don't know if I've played that one.
well, that one is more of a linear story than a survival game.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just saying. There's a lot of good games out there I haven't tried yet.
Oh, sure, there always.
um, yeah. Okay. So survival games. So what about the last like while? If you know what kind of games you've been playing? Has it just been Apex? Have you watched any TV shows or movies you'd like to shout out?
I've started watching All of Us Are Dead. It's a pretty good TV show. It's like a zombie based TV show.
Is that one of those K dramas?
I
Like Korean
think
show?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw advertisements on that one. It does look pretty cool.
yeah, it's really interesting. I've only gotten like towards the end of the first season, I think, but so far it's really good.
Nice. And then I'm assuming you
And
watched The Last of Us as well?
I've watched up to like the fourth episode, I think. I haven't gotten to seeing the new episodes, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I've seen it.
Nice. So what do you think about it though so far? Is it pretty good towards the game? I don't know if you played the game or not.
I have not played the first one. I think I've played the second one, but from what
Ooh,
I've seen, it's pretty good.
nice. Any other shows or movies that you watched?
Actually,
Um,
I have a question. Did you like the second game, or
yeah, I liked it. It was all right.
okay? I was wondering if you were part of the people that hated it.
I don't get why people hate it, but
Like
some people are weird with that.
now that you played the second game, like would you at all be interested in playing the first one or just something you'd pass by at this point?
I'd play it. I'd
Yeah.
like to see how like the story goes along, but That's just a matter of if I can afford it or not.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, I'm the same way, my dude. If it wasn't for Game Pass, I would play a lot of games.
Yeah. I only have the essential Game Pass on here, quote unquote.
um, Mr. Funded, are you back now?
I am back.
All right, buddy. Well, here you go, my friend. What kind of updates do you have for us this week?
So, I mean, if you guys do watch the Discord, you all know that I have gotten my hands on some Diablo. So I've been binging that actually as we speak. I'm playing it right now.
I was gonna say, as you can hear the little click click in the background.
Don't mind me.
So,
Oh,
what
you're
got
you're
you?
talking about the Diablo 3, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
You're talking about Diablo 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What got you into it though, Funded? Like, why Diablo 3 all of a sudden?
Oh, I used to play it whenever I had a different console, but
Oh,
never
okay.
was able to get it to work. It kept freezing on me, which really upset me. But I
Did you
mean,
play the previous Diablos as well, or is this like your first
no,
experience with the
Diablo
game?
3 was my very first game I played.
Wow. That blows my mind. Wow. What an experience for number 3 to be your first. That's cool. Um, how about Ark and all that? Did you end up falling off of it, or are you still playing that on the
Oh no, I
side?
still play that too.
Yeah.
It's just I'm not playing it as of right now, not as much.
Nice. Any TV shows or movies you watched recently? I know last time you were talking about a show that you and your fiance were finishing up.
Actually, we're still not done with that show.
Oh,
We're still not done with it because over the weekend I went and we hung out with some friends. And whenever we did that, we didn't exactly stay at home. So we weren't able to watch our show.
how's work treating you this last week?
God awful.
Aw, still, yeah, okay.
There's not a whole lot to really get done recently.
I was
So
gonna say no cars to brag about this time.
no, not really. Everything is pretty much like a Toyota or a Honda, which today was a bit of a rough day, so I was actually questioning on getting on here and talking a little bit, but I decided to get on anyways.
Oh, I appreciate
That'd
you
be
coming
good
on,
for
buddy.
me.
I have the contrary problem where I have too much stuff coming in right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
my QA team is overloaded with tasks. So
You just don't have enough like extra staff, Cat Trooper? Like, is that why or
no, we're only 2 QAs, and
Oh,
it's a pretty big project for the company. Uh, Working with the provincial government
oh,
for
wow.
their casino thing. And that's pretty much the only thing I can say about it.
Yeah, no, totally get you.
But yeah, no, it's so our QA team not only is it small, but let's say there was a lot of stuff that has changed along the way, and we ended up having more work that we were supposed to have, but we still have the same release date. So it gets a bit hectic. There's a lot to do.
It's almost like I guess you're kind of similar to how your mom's job is, because she like does stuff with the government right now. She has a big project. But I was asking her this last time, and I'm curious with your job too, if it's okay to say, of course. But like hour wise, like, do you have to work more hours now because such a big project, or or like
Not
from my perspective, right? I get paid for a certain amount of hours because I'm in retail, but I'm curious, like in your position.
not yet. Anyways, I haven't had any overtime yet. I mean, I personally have been putting more time, like doing working later on some days, but finishing sooner on other days and stuff like that because I want to, not because necessarily they're asking me or because I feel pressure to do it. Really, it's
Okay.
more like I want to. Well, I really like where I'm working, so doing extra hours sometimes doesn't bother me to complete the tasks I need to complete.
No, of course. And I'm
Uh,
assuming it's like normal, right? Like after 8 hours, would that like classify as you going into overtime, or do you have a 9 hour day as your normal day?
my normal day actually is 7.5 hours per day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, and so yeah, I guess it depends. If I do more hours one day, but like let's say I finish sooner another day, it I still have the same amount of hours, right, in the week. Like I'm supposed to have, I think, at the end of the week, 37.5 hours or something like that. Unless overtime is asked, I don't think I'm supposed to do overtime.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, kind of the same idea as what retail does with their employees. Okay. I was just curious if it was similar or not.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Yeah, it's a full-time job, so
Yeah.
it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that's kind of what mom was. I mean, hers is in the States, obviously, but that's kind of what she was saying. Like, she'll check emails afterwards on her own time, but like again, she loves her job, so it didn't really bother her to do those extra tasks.
Well, I wouldn't say I love mine, but it certainly doesn't bother me compared to, let's
Previous
say, having
jobs.
to get up and work at the grocery store or
Yeah,
something like that.
I feel yeah.
Well, grocery stores, they make you wake up super early, so
Oh
uh,
God, yeah, yeah. 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I did. When I had a job there, I didn't realize that that's how early I needed to wake up when I accepted the job. But anyway, I'm not in grocery stores anymore. But
No, it's funny you say because I have so many applicants now that do that. And they'll circle like just AM or PM, but they don't put a time in there, right? So I tell them like, okay, so the earliest you have to be here is 6 in the morning. They'd be like, oh no, no, I won't be up that early. It's like okay, that's why it's always best to put a time in. um, yeah. So we had our little question of the week. I was just curious, Catcher, when you brought up this question for us, was there like a certain game you had in mind? So again,
no,
it was for
uh,
live service games, good or bad.
the reason I bring this question up and because it's not the first time in general people have been asking it, but the reason I bring it back up is because a lot of games as a service game are getting hacked off, killed off, and are not making money. Like most of these projects are all failing, and so I was wondering if people's view on it had changed all over the years.
Mr. Funded, I'm kind of curious. What are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I'm gonna have to have like an example game or something.
For
Well,
like I'm assuming you mean like always online games, right, Cattrooper?
yeah,
Or
yeah, like I guess Avengers, The Division,
yeah,
Destiny, they're all like games as a service, right?
I know there was one recently. I just can't seem to think what it is. Not Redfall. No, yeah, it is Redfall, right? Yeah, that new one just came out. I think that one you always have to be online for to play.
I don't know. I'm not sure. They're not my type of thing, to be honest.
No, same here.
I mean, so there is a game. You guys know what For Honor is, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so you know how it's kind of like Risk. They have stuff kind of like Risk, go to move your troops and go to different places, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if it's like that, yeah, that's fine. I enjoy that kind of stuff.
I
But if it's
think that's
anything,
more. Sorry, finish your thought.
like Destiny 2, where it's like constantly active, where like the you can only get certain things at certain times and stuff like that, it makes it challenging for people that actually work like a constant job and they have to constantly go and everything else like that. Like me, where I have a job that goes from early in the morning to later at night, most of the time, people that actually work jobs don't have enough energy to even play video games half the time. So the constantly online games are just kind of rough.
Okay, so here's what I mean as a game as a service. It's games that are said to be a game that will keep adding new stuff along the years, right? Where they say they'll keep it up to date, they'll constantly add new stuff and this ongoing, constantly online thing, right? So For Honor, I think is mostly multiplayer. I don't think it's a game as a service in that sense because I mean, yes, they add characters, but it's a multiplayer match game. As game as a service, it's more like Destiny, like you mentioned, where there's constantly new
Well,
expansions, new
I don't
guns, new
exactly enjoy
events.
that at all.
Yeah.
It gets old because I remember like Borderlands 2, whenever like those kind of games, whenever we got games and they only had DLCs and that was it. They didn't have updates. They didn't have to fix the glitches or anything else like that. They just kind of released it and left it be.
True.
Yeah.
I don't like
Here's
the constant updates. I don't enjoy it, and I don't like the constant push of add-ons. Like the game was good whenever you had it right there, but now you're just adding more stuff to add more stuff. Well, I don't understand.
here's my thing with games as a service. As an idea, uh, like uh, theoretically, as an idea, I like it in the sense of having a game and then you expand on it and have more stuff. The problem is that every time they come out with a game said to be games as a service, it always comes out either broken or with so little things. Like there's like it's so low on the amount of things. Like if everything is locked behind a paywall. And
Yeah.
that's the part that I don't like as a game as a service. Because otherwise, the idea of having a, a good base game and then just expanding upon that is just eh, good, right?
See,
But it doesn't seem like any game are able to do it for some reason. They always come up with this low entry game that doesn't have much, and then they come out with 2, 3 expansions that are the actual meat of the game, and it's annoying. Feels
yeah,
like a scam, actually.
yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know if it's just like I grew up like on like physical copies and all that. But even like physical versus like digital, right? Like I would much rather just buy the game and have a physical copy disc and have like a digital one. I know it's not for everybody, right? But I think of things like you brought up Fundead with Destiny 2. Like your mom was kind of talking about last time. Um, there are parts now in Destiny 2, right, that you will never be able to play again because it was online only or a live service game. Um, they're like complete, I guess, DLCs or what to call it, that were just completely wiped out, right? Where if you had a physical copy of it, right, it might be different. Like I mean, obviously, I know how Destiny 2 is set up, right? But if it was a different game altogether, you could still enjoy those levels. And just like you're saying with Marvel's Avengers, at one point that game is just gonna be done. Like it's out of the void. It's you won't be able to get those achievements or those trophies if you miss them, right? It just I don't know. I think that whole concept really sucks. Like it's I don't know. It's crummy to set a game out there that you know has a time limit and is going to expire eventually. I can't get behind those ideas. I don't know.
Well, the other problem that you almost touched upon is that there are there's a lot of games as a service right now, like I said earlier, that are being stopped because nobody is playing it or like they can't keep going, whatever the reason. So now the people that bought this game won't ever be able to play it. It's just a
Yeah.
useless piece of junk, like Babylon's Fall, where they it wasn't very popular. They cut it. They cut it, and now people can have CDs of Babylon's Fall, and it's just junk.
Yeah.
Like you can't use it or anything because the servers are dead.
Yeah, I think even I was that one that Jonesy always loves. Evolved, that like four-person shooter. Like that's done with now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just yeah, it sucks. It's and it's a shame for the people that put time and effort into making that game too, like it's completely wiped out of history at this point.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
um sorry 26. What about you, buddy? Like do you like pro live service games or do you kind of agree with us? Oh, I think his mic's muted. Maybe he went for a bathroom break. I'll get back to him when he pops back on again. But yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, how do you guys feel about digital versus physical copies? Like, are you the same breath? Do you really care at the end of the day, or do you still try to buy physical copy games?
Oh yeah, when I can, I always buy physical copies. Um, there are some exceptions with PC gaming
Yeah,
or games that have a really good deal on Steam, or that you know it's mostly games that I'm super excited about or that I think are going to be really good that I buy with physically. Otherwise, I get them digital, and if I love them like 2 bits and I can find it to a good price physically, I will get them physically even though I have it on the computer.
what about you, Funda? I'm never sure. Do you still buy physical copy games, or do you mostly stick to digital?
I mean, I usually stick to like digital simply because I have the Xbox S. So
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember if you said you bought games or not from the store. I know you said you've gone into like GameStop and all that, but I don't remember you were saying if you bought games or not.
oh yeah, um, I'm able to like get games and stuff and play them, but it's also on my fiance's Xbox that I do that. So
Okay.
eh.
Uh,
But yeah, like you, Mindful, I grew up with physical, cartridges and CDs and stuff. So for me, it's like anchored there. Plus, I don't like the idea that it's it's linked to an account, and if I lose the account, I lose the game, or that if the
yep.
digital warranty of it expires for some reason, or that the company stops, uh, companies go down, then all the games that is linked to that company will disappear.
Exactly,
Won't be
right?
able to touch it
Or if they feel
compared
like
to a
it, they could
CD.
just pull it off and it's gone forever, right? Because of their choice. Like, yeah, it sucks. Even like
Yeah.
books too. Like, there's so many things. Like, I mean, minus movies, I got better over time. I'm not crazy about like just having a whole bunch of DVDs, but for a while there, I fought that movement for a good chunk. Now it's
Well, I
mostly
like to collect the stories that I like. So movies, TV shows, books,
yeah,
games. They're, that's all stuff that I buy physically if I can.
yeah, same. Yeah, if it's something worthwhile, I'll still buy the DVD. Munchroom, sorry, here he popped on Twitch. For those who don't remember, he used to be in the Discord. he was saying the same thing. Or sorry, opposite. He buys all digital nowadays. He used to love collector cases and extra stuff, but ended up finding out they were useless in the end, just like the digital copies. Yeah, no, I feel you, Munshroom. I think the Super Show kind of touched on that one too, like all the extra little junk you used to get for pre-orders and stuff like that. It's just not worth it, kind of in the end.
Yeah. Or when they say, well, if you buy the deluxe edition, you'll have all the DLCs and stuff that will come with it. But you didn't buy the game. You don't even know if you're gonna like the base game.
Yep.
So you're paying extra, and then you end up liking it, but not falling in love and not playing the DLCs. So you end up paying more.
Or like you said, right, you pay such a big chunk of money that you almost feel obligated now to like the game and or at least try to get through those DLCs. But yeah, just kind of wasting your time and your money in the long run.
Well, I mean, most of the time I don't finish the game or play enough to be like, oh yeah, no, I'll do everything in the game.
Yep.
I often do the main quest, and then if I love it, then I will do it. But it's rare that I love it and do everything. So when I realized that I was wasting so much money, I've been way better at just saying I'll buy the base game, and if I like it, then I'll buy the season pass.
I think it wasn't until maybe the Xbox One when I finally started to buy like DLCs for games. Before that, I never used to buy it because I'm with you, Catcher. Like once I played the base game, I was like, okay, I had my fill. I'll just play a different game now.
Well, I mean, before the the game wasn't cut up in DLCs, so there's that as well.
Yeah, like example, like Oblivion. Like I loved Oblivion, but I never played any of the DLCs until I got the Xbox One. I just I don't know. I just couldn't.
Interesting question. Resident Evil 4. This game has like the mercenary mode, has a bunch of skins, have a bunch of stuff in general. Will all this be in the remake, or would it all be cut up in DLCs for the remake?
I want to believe that they're gonna put it all in the game. Oh, man, I wish Jimmy was on here. He'd love this talk because he loves Resident Evil. But I mean, you're right. I mean, yeah, it depends what direction I guess they go with the game.
I think they'll cut it up. They'll
Yeah,
just put everything as a payable DLC personally,
I mean,
because that's
just
how the business roll these days.
I was gonna say you're right because like the ace in the card for the Final Fantasy series was Final Fantasy VII, right? So I can totally understand why they're breaking it up and taking as long as they could. And yeah, Resident Evil 4 for Capcom side of things is their trump card. Like you said, a lot of people loved Resident Evil 4, so they might try to get as much money as possible out of this.
Yep.
Uh,
Plus, I mean, they did something similar with Resident Evil 3, so
oh,
I
did
wouldn't be
they?
surprised. Yeah, where there were a bunch of skins that you needed to buy individually, and yep.
Oh wow, okay.
And remind you, Resident Evil 3 is like a 3 to 6 hour game, so
Oh, that's brutal.
yeah.
Shit. Yeah, so I'm excited to try that series out. I'm gonna start with number one. I'll just have to look and see what kind of deals they have online.
Oh, you've never played Resident Evil?
No, I've only played 7 for a couple of hours and 4 for a couple hours, but I never actually really, went through the game and experienced it all. Just kind of picked it up. I was like, okay, here's one little quick playthrough.
Oh, interesting.
And then Muncher was just adding on to our previous talk there. You said, yeah, I have 800 plus games in my library right now. I can't imagine finding the space to keep all those, to devote a whole closet to it if I had physical copies.
For sure. I
It's
mean, on Steam, I have like 300 and something games. I don't
yeah,
have that
right.
many physically. No, there's a lot of
I think
physical games where I resell because I don't like. I liked them, but I didn't love them. Right?
no, that makes sense. And I was gonna say it's easy too when it's online, right? Because like you said, it could be like 50 cents, it could be $1, whatever kind of sale it has going on. And yeah, you literally just buy them and just build up that backlog. You might not even get to half of those games in your lifetime, but because it was so cheap or whatever, or is free, you're just gonna download it anyway to have it. I get that.
Well, I wish there was a way where you could resell your digital um copies of a game. And I mean, there
Ooh.
technically is with, the blockchain technology and all that. You could do that. Companies could implement something, but they would lose money, so that's why they do not. But you
Yeah.
could definitely have digital ownership. I think that would be important for the coming future.
Yeah,
But
that's kind of a cool perspective for it. Yeah.
but that's giving power to the consumer and taking it away from the big companies. So I don't think they'll ever do that.
I remember back in the day too, like speaking of selling games, when you would buy like a brand new game, right? And you know, when you're younger, right, you assume you're gonna get most of that value back when you trade it in, and it'd be like, I don't even know, like if it was $60 game, you're lucky if you get like $15 back for it. Um,
Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure. And it's still quite. It's
Oh,
still
it's
the
terrible.
same. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
But at least now you expect it, right? Like you've been through that shock and everything.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Well, now it's more like, well, I'm never gonna play it. It's just taking space. Might as well give it to a shop and someone else will have fun with it.
or even like oh man, thinking of like ways to get screwed over. Let's say Battlefield, the new one that came out, right? Like it was what within a year it went from whatever it was $70 all the way down to like I think I saw it at my game store for $10, brand new.
Oh,
Yeah, so like
wow.
can you imagine buying that game brand new and not enjoying it and trying to get that trade-in value? Probably got a lot less than the 15.
I mean, the game is freaking broken. So even if you enjoy it, it wasn't worth that price.
Yeah, like at this point, it's just the diehard fans that are just.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't working. It like with what I've seen, it's like the worst launch I've ever seen of a game.
I-
Either as bad as Cyberpunk 77. I can't remember, or as you know.
yeah, no, I get you. I was gonna say that one too. Great example. I just recently got that one. I think for only $20, and it's not that old of a game yet, where it should be at that dollar value. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well, that they have an expansion coming. So
true. Yeah, that as well. Hey, 26, I see you're back. I was just asking you earlier, your opinion on it as well for live service games or physical copies versus digital copies. Like, what's your stance on all that stuff? Do you prefer digital? Do you still like buying the physical copy games when you do buy a game? Do you think live service games are worth it, or are they kind of hurting the industry?
I feel like physical copies are better because like well physical I'm not good at explaining stuff, but
No worries.
physical copies are better because you know never mind. I'm not gonna finish my sentence because I'm sorry.
No, no worries, my dude. I mean, I agree with you. Physical copy games are better, like we were saying. With the digital copy, right? Like, if let's say PlayStation decides to take it off the market, like it's gone. It's gone forever. You can never play that game again. Whereas physical, right? At least you still have it in your house and you could pop it in when you want to.
hmm
How about live service games though?
I don't really like them all too much because it just depends entirely. They're not the best, but like I said, it just depends on how often you use them and like how expensive they are.
True. Yeah, well, that's a good point. I mean, like one of your games there, like Apex, right? I guess for that one, like what kind of keeps you coming back to like that game? Because it's like online,
Maybe,
right? All the time. Like there is no single player option. So
yeah, mainly because it's free and it's a first person shooter.
like nothing about the game itself
That's
though. Like because when I was playing it, for example, like it was pretty different from like obviously Call of Duty or Fortnite, right? Like it did stand out.
yeah, it's got its own little like it's unique, but nothing really too unique for me because it's based off of like not based off of Titanfall, but the people who made Titanfall made the game,
Yeah.
so you can get a lot of the game experience from Apex. You can get that from Titanfall, just not in the same way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. So yeah, if that's like Apex got shut down, it wouldn't be the end of the world to you, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I was just curious.
Yeah, I can't get into Apex. Like any battle royale I've tried, I can't get into them. I just walk for 15 minutes and then die. It's not fun.
It's so true though. Yeah. Like I said, I'll play it because other people play it and like it's fun to play with them. Shout out to you 26 yesterday and obviously Fundead. You played quite a bit of Destiny, but yeah, if I didn't have like people like that to play these games with, you're right. I probably would have left them by the wayside. I wouldn't have even picked them up.
Like when I played not Titanfall, I mean Apex when it first came out, it just gave me it just made me reinstall Titanfall 2 and play that game instead.
Yeah.
I always it's just a far better experience.
And plus, you got multiplayer in that as well, right? So if you really want to do some running
That's
around
what I
and
mean.
shooting,
Well, that
Yeah.
is when the server works, because the Titanfall servers 1 and 2 have been having weird problems.
I was curious too, Six. We asked this question a while back, and I had a new game to kind of, I guess, back up my point I made with it. But we were talking about like obviously these games are getting more and more expensive, right? We're reaching that $90 or $80 mark, $90 mark, $100 mark, whatever the case might be. For you, like when you do decide to buy a game, what would justify your dollar value? Are you looking like for a 50-hour experience in the game? Is that what's going to do it for you? Are you looking like for some bonus content when you buy the game? Like what would give you your max value when you're spending that much?
I'd say I'd say it would depend on like the story based on the game or and what kind of game it is.
Okay.
Like if it's like a battle royale type game, I wouldn't spend too much on it because it's nothing you can really enjoy if you're playing by yourself because it's just not the best to play by yourself. But if it's something like The Last of Us, that would be like that's a better game to like. I'd pay more for that because it's got a good backstory on it and it's got good graphics. That's another thing.
Okay, so yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same page. It seemed like story was the basis for everyone. Like that's what they justified most of their dollars going towards, as long as they had a good story. And I think Catch Up you brought up last time, as long as it's not like 10 to 15 hours either. Like it should have a decent
Uh,
amount of time
well,
into
I
it.
said a minimum of 10 hours for me. A
Yeah,
minimum.
sorry.
Like under that, it becomes a bit of an insult.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
Resident Evil.
like no, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's great fun, and there's nothing against those games. I love Resident Evil. I've played all of them, but I mean, I won't pay $90, $100 for a 6-hour experience. Like, I know with indie games, people always put them in a pedestal, like it's 30 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, it's the best game ever." But I'm sorry, it's not. There's a problem. You can't make people pay like for 50, 60, $80 for like something where you just do nothing for 30 minutes. It's just it's not a good balance, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I know I totally forgot to give my recap of what I did for the past week. What I was going to talk about, I was just going to actually bring up Red Dead 2. I don't know why I swear the minute I started talking about that game, Twitter, I started to notice more and more popping up about it, and then the Super Show was talking about it. And we were talking like, what's a 10 out of 10 game and what justifies those high price tag when you're purchasing a game. I think Red Dead 2 would be mine. Like if that game came out and they won $100 for it, whatever it was, like I would have no problem paying that because I feel I'm getting the whole experience out of a game. I mean, I know 10 out of 10 is a big thing to give a game. Like obviously it does have its flaws, it does have bugs in it, etc. all that. But that is probably the closest for me at least playing a game um that I'll get for perfection. Like, I mean, like um you're walking outside, into the field, and like things are happening. Like either you're being attacked by bounty hunters, right? There's wildlife. I said I was talking to someone on Twitter about this. The dialogue between characters, it could be just something as stupid as just fishing. And I'm listening to these other outlaws talking to one another. I'm like, holy shit! Like I feel like I'm in the moment with them. Like it's just, I don't know. Rockstar just did a fantastic job with that. I played Grand Theft Auto, and I do love Grand Theft Auto a lot. I don't know what it is, but the Red Dead series I feel is just a little bit better in the long haul. Like I think they nailed single player in that game
Well,
completely.
the setting is cooler.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto is just today compared to Red Dead, where you're a cowboy or a criminal
no,
of
that's
some. I
true.
mean, you're a criminal in GTA as well, but it's the setting of this sort of cowboy bounty hunter esque that makes it, I think, cooler.
I mean, I didn't play San Andreas. I didn't play 4 or 3, but I did play Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, and Vice City. And I'd say, yeah, Vice City was probably the closest experience I had with like the first Red Dead. But again, like you're right. Like there wasn't that much in Vice City. Like it was enjoyable. I had fun with the characters and all that, but obviously they were just kind of branching out into open world. They haven't fully explored it. Whereas, yeah, you're maybe right. Maybe it's just the setting of
I
Red
have
Dead.
to say though, I can't stand Red Rockstar games. Everybody loved them, and for some reason I can't play them. They bore me. They bother me. Like their open world are great, but their base gameplay is so old and archaic. It makes me want to not play the game.
I
Like
can see that. Yeah, like how the
but
quests are done. You mean?
no, I mean the combat, running,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
just the feeling of the controls, just all that is just so it's so old. Like it's I'm sorry.
No, no worries. Go get a glass of water if you need it.
Hey, Michael. Michael,
Whoa, sorry. Yeah, what's up, Undead?
I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here.
Oh, yes.
Like I said, today was not a good day.
No
So
worries. No worries, my dude. I completely understand. You have a wonderful evening.
I will try. Thank you.
No worries.
Have a good night.
You too, buddy. Two
Like the way
six.
to
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
play
Catcher.
those games, I was just finishing the way to play those games are. It's been the same since like I don't know, since probably Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah.
Running by constantly pressing X is horrible. The shooting mechanics or the Deadeye mechanic or whatever is just feels just so old, but in a bad way, not in a good nostalgic way. I can't stand it. Like the quests are awesome, the storylines are awesome, but and the way people react around you is cool. But I don't know, there's something with the base gameplay that they reuse with every one of their games that I can't stand. I just can't do it.
No, I get.
I
Like I
play
was
I
telling you
play with them
last.
for a couple of hours and then I just never touch them again.
I get it because I was saying to you guys last time, right? We were talking about like mechanics that should always be in video games. Like I said, it wasn't for fun. It explains to me that if I just quickly, do the aim, it'll auto aim on the character. I would have been struggling the whole way through Red Dead and Red Dead 2, knowing that I could just, fast click the aim to line up my shot. That made a world of a difference going through that game.
So it did ruin your experience knowing that.
Before what I didn't know I could do that, yeah, it was brutal doing the gunfights and stuff like that. I was definitely avoiding a lot of those.
Okay, I personally would have been annoyed, I think, because I wouldn't feel it's me doing it, and I would feel like I'm using an exploit and cheating almost. I don't think I would have liked that.
Even though it's third person?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay. How you two six? Did you ever get to play any Rockstar games?
I've played a little bit of Grand Theft Auto, but I think that's about it.
Yeah,
I've played the latest Grand Theft Auto, and that's pretty, like I said, it. Ooh, I'm not gonna explain common
no, no,
carry.
no, that's okay. But did you like Grand Theft Auto 5 at least, or?
Yeah, I liked it. I think it was a little bit too short, but besides that, I like it.
I have to give that one a shot. I know it was on Game Pass for Tiny Tad, and I think I only got like 4 hours into it. But yeah, the characters are kind of neat. I did enjoy the storyline in that one.
Yeah, the characters are cool in Grand Theft Auto 5. I like that they're all a sort of a brand of criminal or that we've seen somewhere in movies, TV shows, or whatever.
Yep.
For example, what is it? Michael, I think is
Yep.
his name. Where he's like soprano mafioso type of criminal, and I can't remember the redneck's name.
Trevor.
Trevor,
Yeah,
yeah.
Trevor is just the crazy nut colonel that you see that is hilarious constantly, and well, I mean, and well, I keep forgetting their name for some reason tonight.
Franklin.
Franklin,
Oh
yes,
yeah,
thank you.
Franklin, yeah.
Is like the typical colonel you play as in Grand Theft Auto games in general, I think, which is which I really like. All of them, they're all very different, and I think everybody has like their favorite. Like I personally really like following Michael and going through the psychiatrist moments with him, and I thought those were hilarious and fun.
As you say, it's funny too with like Rockstar and their characters, right? Like they could be the most like messed up characters of all time, but they have such a good way of like doing the story where like yeah, you actually like feel for that character. I remember what was it? In Vice City, I think his name was Lance. He eventually joins up with you. And even his character arc, right? Like he goes, I mean, spoiler alert for an older game, but he eventually goes bad on you. But that whole like process as you could like see him changing was really cool. And like it's Rockstar too, like sorry, Red Dead 2, just the characters in there too. I feel like what's his name, Dutch, really got short-ended in the first game, because the first game when you ended up fighting him, it wasn't very impactful. Like I found Bill or Billy to be a better bad guy in that first one than Dutch was. But now playing number two, right? I was like, oh man, if they did like a remaster of the first one, they could definitely add a lot more to Dutch's character. Just the way they do characters in general,
Well,
it's really interesting.
unless they make a remaster like the Grand Theft Auto remasters, then no, they can keep it for themselves.
Yeah, no, I think they would have to do it like the Grand Theft Auto remasters if they're going to do the Red Dead series.
Well, they need to put a bit of effort and not just filters.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. But I do
But
agree
yeah,
to Cat Trooper. It is like I said, from Vice City when I played it last, all the way up till now, it has been pretty much the same controls, the same movements, and all that other stuff. I think we've on one of our discords, there's someone that actually like does real life Grand Theft Auto TikToks, and it's really funny because they like what do you call it, nail how the character walks, how he bumps into people, all that stuff. It's just fun. I don't know, it's funny watching that stuff.
oh yeah, I've seen some of them. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, I've seen those. They're nice to watch.
Yeah, they're pretty funny. Oh, Sleepy just got off work. Hey, Sleepy. Um, yeah. What else I was gonna ask you guys? Sorry, it was Fundead's turn. um, yeah, 10 out of 10 games I had. So I was just looking at
Did
my.
you were saying earlier, is this only, did you only play Red Dead Redemption 2, or were
No,
there other games?
I did play Red Dead. Oh, for my weekly recap.
Yep.
Yeah. So I had Red Dead 2. What else did we switch over? I did Knights of Pen and Paper. I don't know if you guys ever played that one or not. It has two in its series. Um, I got them free on Xbox Games for Gold like a long, long time ago. But basically, it's just Dungeons and Dragons, but video game style. So um, you literally just sit at a table the entire time, like these little cartoon pixel characters. And I think you originally start off with just two people playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then as you earn gold coins, you can buy new characters. I think to a max of five can sit at the table. And there is like, I mean, you can pick quests, but you're kind of like picking it as the dungeon master. Or you could just like fight endless amounts of enemies. It's in all honesty, it can be pretty boring. But if you like Dungeons and Dragons, it's neat. It's that experience without playing with a bunch of friends. Um, the part that's I guess kind of cool about it, that they gave their own little twist to, is you can also use your gold coins to upgrade the table and change the table style. And by doing so, it might give all of your characters extra strength. It might give your characters the ability to heal every turn. You can add little trinkets to this table too, like I don't know, you could have like a lightsaber or something ridiculous. Like they have different movie props and stuff like that that you can add it to it. And again, it might give your character +1 attack, or it might have the chance to evade an enemy on a dice roll, or whatever the case is. Um, and then yeah, so there's a table, there's a trinkets. You can change your background too, so you don't always have to have the same background that they have. And like basically everything you change can alter your characters in one way or another. The coolest one I thought was you can actually change the dungeon master, so you can have it become Yoda. I think another one was one of the Star Wars characters, and I can't remember who it was they picked. Oh no, sorry, there was Yoda. Or is it that? Oh fuck, I can't remember. There's at least five different other like video game and movie characters you can pick from. They didn't really offer you too much if you did it. Like it didn't boost your team's stats. It was mostly just the environment stuff that you changed that would. So yeah, like Dungeons and Dragons, it's pretty cool. Otherwise, it's pretty nerdy. Literally every achievement on that list was rated rare. So I think at the most I saw one achievement that had 15% of players beat this. So yeah. Um, what else did I end up playing this past week? I mean, I played Apex, like I was saying, on Monday. Um,
I'm annoyed. I keep missing the Monday gaming.
oh, is it just
Yeah, I
like the?
played.
Is it just the timing of it all, or?
Oh, it's just, and sometimes is either because I have too much work, or it's either because I'm tired, of like of the work. It's Monday, new work day, and all that. So it's not a question of it's starting at a bad time. It's just on my part, on my end.
Oh, no worries. Well, like I said, Ketchup, if you ever get the chance and I'm on, I will redeem it for you as well. A few people have this. I'll put the Piglets play on, so next time you have some free time, you see me streaming, and obviously it's not a Tuesday, we can play any game you want to play.
Sure.
There we go. Redeem that one. Okay, sorry, I was just trying to see what this one game was. I know I ended up posting it on here. Must play games. Yeah, okay. So on Wednesdays I do a mobile stream, like I was saying. I tried out this new game, Lucid Dream Adventure. Visually, it is worth a playthrough. I think you get maybe 5 levels or 5 episodes. They're pretty much levels. Um, for free, and then after that you have to buy the next 5 levels, and then I think you have to buy another pack after that for the final 3. It's creepy, it's weird. You're basically this girl in a wheelchair, and she's trying to figure out what's wrong with her mother, and her mother is like, sounds like she's possessed basically every time you talk to her, and you're kind of slowly going through that mystery. The setting that they're in is like a very depressing, I guess, extremely poor environment that they're in. It's just like, I don't know. There's like a closet you have that's broken and your mom can't fix it. The sink has something wrong with it, right? Like it's all very gloomy. And yeah, as you start to explore around your room, you kind of find this dream world, and that's when it really starts to get all messed up. Um, I think it was that you fly out your window and you go to this first world where there's things that you've seen in the house, and you don't know it's part of your dream, but anyway, you see them floating throughout this level, and as you interact with each one of them, it kind of helps you progress through it. So, for example, she might have a dream catcher that was in her room, and now all of a sudden, this dream catcher is broken into like 10 different pieces. You have to find all those different pieces and put them together. And then as you're doing this, you're slowly starting to understand the dream world. I think there is supposed to be a big baddie in this too. There's like I said, only got to play 5 levels, but throughout those 5 levels, the same character was kind of mentioned. He's almost like the dream master. Yeah, so it's really neat. It's worth a playthrough just for the visuals, I'd say. Gameplay wise, it's nothing different than any other kind of point and click game. If you played Monkey Island, it's pretty much the same experience as that. But just yeah, visuals wise, it was really beautiful. It was definitely a really neat game.
Sounds cool.
Yeah,
I mean, adventure games are a thing of the past now, so it's always fun to see it come back here and there.
yeah, it's nice to see people put their own spin on it. Yeah, and then other than that, I just been watching the same TV show, The Good Place. Um,
Oh.
that one, yeah, just really neat. I'm on season 3 now, halfway through it. I think I have season 4, and then I'll finally be done it. I still have the same opinion on it. Season 1 was fantastic. Season 2 kind of dropped the ball, but season 3 has definitely picked it back up, and I kind of like now where they're going with it. I think they found their direction again. So it'll be interesting to see where season 3 ends and how season 4 continues. I'm kind of hoping they just basically every season there's like a reset, not to spoil anything. So I'm hoping that at the end of season 3 there won't be a reset this time, and they'll just keep going with the story because I think they got it. But then I can't remember if I brought up last time, but I did watch Spawn on Netflix. Which, if you haven't seen the '90s Spawn, please do. It is a
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
I have it actually.
Do you? Yeah, me too. I have it on DVD. But it was neat to see on Netflix. I was like, all right, let's watch this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, just love it. Like visuals and all that. Like I think it still holds up pretty well, even for
yeah.
today.
It's not like Blade,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
because
Yeah.
Blade is really good, but if you watch it today, the visuals and stuff really doesn't hold up.
Yeah, like I was really impressed when like Spawn's cape, for example, was just like floating in the wind. I was like, damn, that looks still freaking good. Like they did a good job with it. I think the only like I guess bad guy in that whole movie that kind of looks a little funny is Malbolgia, but I get it. He's a big ass demon. It's kind of hard to make him look good.
Yeah,
But the
or
Viol,
especially at that time. Yeah,
yeah, right. But the Violator, I mean, he looked awesome. That whole transformation from the clown to the demon was fantastic. Sorry, Sleepy. I see you popped on. Did you want to give your little recap from the week?
This is the same for like every week. It's just work and school. I've been trying to stream more lately when I have the time. I actually told myself last like a week and a half ago, like I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a week break from streaming, and then I end up streaming, which is okay. um, but yeah, I just been dealing with work and school. Sadly, haven't really watched much shows. Just just been like catching up on homework and stuff like that. Nothing new this week.
I was just seeing Cat Trooper earlier was talking about Valorant. Sorry, Cat Trooper, I can't remember now off the top of my head, but I know there was a question you wanted to ask Sleepy. Oh, the currency, that's what it was.
Yes, I don't know what radiant coins do. I don't understand.
I'm trying to explain this too. They're think of it as like I don't know how to explain this because honestly, it's hard to explain because if I'm being honest, I don't quite understand it as well. But it's just I know it's like if something's like 1,000 or whatever, it's like $20 or so, if I believe. Um, but that's the best way to explain it.
But what
I
do
don't.
you
I can't.
buy? What do you buy with them? Because to buy skins, it's not the same currency as radiant coins.
Radiant coins are like I guess they're just like for the actual buying skins for Valorant. You actually have to like put in your own money if that makes sense. You actually buy the Valorant currency.
Yeah.
And then with the Radiant coins, it's more like for like if you finish a battle pass or you finish a tier of a battle pass, they they give it to you. But
So
yeah,
what do you do with
I,
them then?
you can buy like I think when you buy stuff that are discounted because they do have something called a night market, which like a lot of skins on there are either Valorant coins or Radiant coins, which they're basically discounted skins that were in the past, but no one really bought them in a way. There's a lot of Valorant skins that are not worth it. It's not worth the money.
So, like, if it was anything new that came out skin wise, you wouldn't be able to use those Radiant coins to buy it. Then it's only like for discount and stuff.
No, you have to use
Okay,
basically, or like
okay.
stuff that, or there's some stuff that you to buy with Radiant coins on in your shop. But there's a very low chance of that. That's the best way to
Okay.
explain it to you.
No, that's good because I was curious. Yeah, like what you could actually buy in Valorant.
Yeah,
When
well,
Cat
like I was
Trooper.
saying earlier, Valorant is not very good at indicating stuff or explaining stuff to you. Like,
Yeah, honestly, Valorant right now, especially if you start playing rank matches, the whole rank system is effed up.
oh, that's
So,
something I wanted to mention. I don't feel there's matchmaking in Valorant.
if you play unrated, it's kind of scrambled around basically. So you could have someone who's like the highest right now is like ascendant in like in a unrated game. They have no matchmaking in unrated. For ranked, you play with someone who are similar in rank with you, unless you play with a friend who's slightly higher. Then you have someone slightly higher on the opposite team as well.
But the other modes, the other type of games, do they have matchmaking or not really?
No, it's all scrambled.
Okay, that's what I thought, because games take a second, and then I'm like, my team is level 14, 1, 2, 3, and then the enemy team is like 130, 200, and it's it's very fun.
The levels doesn't count as anything. The level assist is more how much you
No,
play.
of course. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they obviously know more, right?
I mean, I'm a 158 or so if I remember correctly, and I honestly the best way to actually get an accurate like headshot or whatever is to run and gun. And if you do it and you miss, but if someone else do it and they don't miss, and you're just like, okay, that's kind of what it's a frustrating moment. Just I cannot count how many times I literally almost punched my screen while streaming. There's countless times I almost did that. But it's like, okay. But there are times where once in a while you hear my there are a number of times where you would hear me kind of banging my mouse on my desk because I'm like, guys.
I said, I've
So
watched
do
you
you
play a
have
few.
tips for new players or?
It should be with new players. It should be with just brain dead people. I can guarantee you half of the time when I play, I'm brain dead, so I can't really say it. I can't be really a hypocrite about it. But and then you have people who are ranked who are just complete other trolling, which is, and then I actually deranked because of them, and I'm kind of mad at Valorant for it at that right now. It's just like I know my lineups. I know some lineups. I know some setups or whatever you want to call it. But you just don't. But sometimes your people are like, sometimes your teammates are just like, I don't want to follow you, so I'm gonna do this. Oh, and I die, and Valorant's all about teamwork or like complimenting each other better. How to word it? So
Yeah, it's
when
very
you
team oriented, more so than a normal game, I would say, a normal multiplayer game.
yeah, I don't know if you guys play League, but it's very similar to that. You have the duelist, or you have the main initiator that goes in, and then you have the support system as well. And then you have people who help make it difficult for the opposite team to go on whatever site or whatever place you guys are at. But yeah, that's my whole spiel.
I was gonna say, Sleepy. I have a lot more respect for you now playing that game. Like, I watched you play it, right? Like, I don't know. I guess I didn't see all these like strategies that were put into it. Like I could tell. Obviously, there was you guys had an idea when you were doing the matches. But when Catchuber was explaining everything, I was like, holy shit! I was like, man, Sleepy does all this and streams it. Like, shit. That's a lot of thought process to put in for one game.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
full.
because
It's
I was saying earlier that it looks like a normal hero shooter, but it's
Yeah.
definitely not. It's super more strategic and design oriented than just power shooting people, right?
yeah, no, it's if you guys, I'm the worst example to watch play Valorant because half of the time I just woke up, right, especially on Sundays. If I play in the afternoon, like 12 my time, or SBT time, I just woke up. Like I have no coffee in my system. I'm brain dead. So like, I'm the worst person to watch.
Nah, you're
But
just being modest.
bestie, hi
What's up,
Jimmy.
bestie?
Hey bestie. Hey, you guys didn't know Jimmy the Zombie is my bestie. I'm just saying.
It's true. These are facts.
Jimmy over here, every time he hops onto my stream, he's like, "Oh my god, you're the best streamer ever! Oh my god, you're the best Valor person." I'm like, dude, I am bottom of the scoreboard, please.
Hell no.
But yeah, it's I'm the worst Valo streamer. If you guys want to see funny brain dead moments when I play with friends, sure, have a laugh with us. But like, if I'm playing by myself, I'm strictly completely focused. I forget that I'm streaming sometimes when I play by myself. When I solo queue, I forget I'm streaming.
Hey, that time we played, I had beginner's luck. After that, I was garbage.
No, when Jimmy played, I should start streaming during this time. Oh my god, Jimmy was amazing. Like he carried us to the win, and I'm like, dude, what is this?
The first round,
But
maybe.
no, the whole game, Jimmy. But but yeah, it's just I think Sunday, I was either Sunday or I forgot, either one of the past weekend. I was streaming for a little bit because I was like trying to calm my nerves because I was meeting my boyfriend's mom's sister from the UK for the first time in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I was nervous. And then So I was talking to my mic, but I realized the whole first hour, no one to hear me. I was muted the whole first hour.
Oh, that fucking sucks. I hate when that happens.
Mindful, you don't know anything about that,
No,
right?
no, not like every second stream.
And it's just like, the first 20 minutes or so, you're like, okay. Oh, I'm muted. Okay. The whole first hour and a half, though, I was like, oh my god. I was like, dude, that was such a new thing to do. It's just not check my sound setting. But I don't know. I thought it was funny. And it's just one of my friends laughed at me. He's like, I can't even hear you because I hop on Discord with him. He's like, dude, I can't even hear you. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh shit, it's not even working.
Well, speaking of your streams, you just added some new things into it, right? Some
Well,
new like.
I have commands. If you do lurk as well, like the extreme pushing lurk, yeah, I have a whole thing for that. It's just great. I have the song requests, which I still gotta fix, by the way. So don't judge me on that. If that's hop on my stream, don't judge me on that. I'm saying that now. It's a work in progress. But yeah, just a few things that you could do now. You can hug. Josh put in a smooch. Just like a whole kiss
Of course they
thing.
did.
But I mean, Jimmy and Juds were just blowing my chat up with just like hugs and smacks and stuff like that.
I was a fan of the smack one for sure.
That's too funny.
Sorry, I had to cough. My bad. But yeah, it's just like, and it was Jimmy and Juds and also another great streamer, but he's not streaming currently anymore. But he does make music. But those three was just going ham on it. In my chat, I kept dying because I kept looking at them, but I was like, okay.
Sorry.
Can't stop the party.
But it was fun though.
I kept
Like,
asking questions while you were on stream. I can't remember which night, but I think it was last week or the week before. Because I started playing for Valorant and then I had a bunch of questions.
Oh, no worries. Just if you message me like directly or whatever, just let me know and I'll add you, and then we'll go through it together. It's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, like just message me on Discord anytime. I usually play on the weekends, like night, because usually I'm working every day now.
Yeah, no,
but
I get it. Me too.
yeah. So like it might change this weekend since we have a new incoming barber coming on Thursday. So pray that I actually have a full weekend to myself.
Woo!
But yeah, I'm trying to see if I could play Thursday night. That's up to Otto. It's up to my boyfriend if he wants to deal with me for like 4 days straight. I love him. I promise. Unfortunately, off and on.
Right.
Off and on.
Off and on, yeah. No, we just been together for so long, and plus we've been friends for 15 plus years now, and we've been dating for almost 6 years. So it's like we're too comfortable. Let's put it like that. We're too comfortable.
They finish each other's sandwiches.
I mean, it's more like he eats majority of my food because I finish half, and I get full really easily. And then he's like, I call him my human trash can. He eats, even though he's like full, he's like, it's food, don't waste it. So he eats it for me. I love it.
I do
He's
that
great.
with my fiance as well. She
Yeah.
always leaves something in her plate for some reason, and I eat the rest.
Yeah, it's the same thing with boba. I'm like, I can't finish my boba. I'm like, here, you want it? Or if Dutch Bros or Starbucks, I'm like, here, have it. But yeah, I love him on occasion sometimes. He's great.
That's fair.
If there are times when I stream and he is on my stream with me, but like the way how we talk to each other, it doesn't sound like, oh, and all that cute couple stuff. Is like, dude, I hate you. Why you do that? Jimmy knows. I'm pretty sure Mindful knows as well.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
we hold nothing back to each other. It's great. It's funny.
Best way to be.
Yeah,
You can be
exactly.
yourself.
Yeah, he's my best friend. He's great. He's my best friend. Still waiting for that proposal too. I'm just saying. I'm done being girlfriend here.
You want me to sit down with him? I will.
Dude, he's graduating in May. He's graduating in this May coming this year, and I was like, I just want him. I'm just ready. I've been ready for after 2 years. I'm ready. But Cat Trooper. If you ever want to play and it's a weekend night, just message me and then we'll play. We'll go over some basics and any more questions you have.
I'd be down to jump in too at some point if
Oh,
I ever get some free time.
Dude,
Sure, we can be a full squad.
we need 2 more. Because if we 3D people, that's not full. It's a 5-man squad.
Off mindful.
Mindful.
Yeah, on the Chromebook. Woo!
Yeah, hell yeah. You'll have the advantage.
No, Mindful. You just gotta come here, and we'll make you a setup. Me and Otto will make you a PC. You just gotta come here.
Yay!
Or you come here and I got it all set up for you. You can even have a couch.
All right, I like it.
Oh yeah, I'm sweetening the deal.
Oh, and Jimmy lives by himself. Mindful.
All I'm hearing is positives here. I don't know what you're going with.
Right? Dude, no, it would be so bad. We would be gaming constantly. Like you would never see us.
Accepted
Couch
virtual
go up for
reality.
days.
I can imagine just all 4 of us, or all 5 of us, just in the same house. Just we're never leaving the house.
Oh right, exactly. So I heard I missed a conversation about Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a little bit old, but I was telling Cat Trooper this because a few times he brought up Resident Evil. I was like, oh man, if Jimmy was here, he'd have a good discussion or a good input to put for this. So I back traveling a little bit. The first one that I was mentioning to you before was Cat Trooper was just kind of mentioning similarities between Resident Evil 8 and Resident Evil 4 as far as gameplay wise goes, right, Cat Trooper?
Yeah, well, that it felt like Resident Evil 8 was supposed to be the 4 remake, but ended up being something else because there's a lot of similarities in the design and everything.
And
But
then,
it still has a bit of 7.
and then today
So I don't
too,
think
he
it's
was
by accident. It's like I mean, granted, it happens with a lot of companies, but they'll make stuff with the idea of being able to reuse some of those assets with little changes and stuff into the next one. So having all that stuff in there, working it out in there, being able to almost reuse and just improve to put it into the Resident Evil 4 remake as well, because they obviously knew well in advance that they were doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got the attaché case type of thing. You've got the setting was very much reminiscent of Resident Evil 4 as well. So yeah. And I'm super pumped for it.
Yeah.
And then Cat Trooper today was saying had a good point. Again, I didn't play the previous one, so I wasn't aware that Resident Evil 3 did this. But he was asking, if Resident Evil 4, do you think that they're going to give you everything in one for the game, or do you think they'll break it up into DLC or add-ons that you have to purchase? It's
I was saying that in 4, depend lots of stuff to do, and you would unlock skins, unlock a bunch of stuff, the mercenary modes, and all that. But I was saying that with Resident Evil 3, you had to buy the DLCs for skins and some stuff that weren't part of the base game where it used to be. So my question is, will they do that with Resident Evil 4 remake? All the usual stuff you would unlock, but with a DLC instead.
So I did see that the pre-order bonus gives you a bunch of costumes, so that that still probably holds true.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it confirms it.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know if there'll be other costumes you can unlock. It would be nice if they did that, but I don't think I would guess that they probably won't. Just because it kind of really hasn't been.
You got me intrigued. Let me check the Resident Evil remake pre-order.
Yeah, I know the deluxe edition had a bunch of like costumes and like there's charms I think you can put on stuff too. They have
I heard about the charms that is not something from the base game that I'm actually interested.
yeah, because don't they have like effects on the game? Like you might get like certain drops more if you have that charm equipped or something like that. I forget. I've been like sort of paying attention to it and sort of not because I still want to be like absolutely blown away when I play the game, like going in like as blind as I can. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
at the same time, it's like you can't resist. Like that new trailer they dropped. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
But
good.
I don't know who I've been saying this, but I've been trying not to buy remakes because like I'm sick of them, even though I like the series, whatever.
Yep.
And I was supposed not to buy Resident Evil 4, but every time I see something, a video or something, man, does it look good. Like every time it just makes me want to
See,
pre-order it.
for me, it's like I feel the same about that for like other game companies, but for some reason Capcom just gets the exception because they've just been knocking it out of the park. I mean,
Yeah, their
I'm
remakes are bangers. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Like even I know like there's a lot of people that weren't happy with the third one. I still really liked it, but I know that as a fan of the original one, it definitely pales in comparison because it didn't bring over a lot of the stuff from the original Resident Evil 3. But I still enjoyed it for what it was, and I mean, we still have the original ones to jump back to. Um, but I do hope that we get a Resident Evil 1 remake someday in the style of like Resident Evil 2 remake, because that would just be just amazing.
I
You
really like
know?
3 as well. It's just it's incredibly short for the price they were asking.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a shorter one.
Like
I
it's
mean,
under the threshold of what I consider acceptable. I was saying earlier, like I consider it minimum 10 hours for a game if you're going to put a full price tag, and that game
right.
is like 3 to 5 hours.
Yep. Yeah, my first playthrough was 5.5 about, I think. I did it in
Yeah.
one sitting when it released because I have a problem, but I love Resident Evil so much. There's certain series, man, I love them. I like drop everything for them.
Okay,
It used
so
to be Final Fantasy,
oh yeah, Final
but
Fantasy.
after 15, I'm like 16 looks amazing though. I can't wait till Final Fantasy 16
Oh
comes
yeah,
out.
I've pre-ordered 16. It looks like my type of game in general. Like those kind
Yeah.
of Devil May Cry-ish action games, they're my favorite. Style. It's just super exciting. Plus, it looks just awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Everything I see on it just keeps getting better and better. I'm like, oh, when does it come out in June? I think.
Yep.
Yep. That
Well, I've looked at the pre-order for the Resident Evil 4. None of the pre-orders are in that were in the base game. So
right, right.
if they still have the base skins that you can unlock through the game, and plus there's these extra skins, then I wouldn't mind. I don't mind it.
Right. They did confirm mercenaries though, so that's making it. I would assume that separate ways will show up in some capacity, whether they implemented it into the actual game or if it'll be a separate mode again. I don't know, but I would imagine that they're gonna include it.
Well, they have to, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's one of the big things of Resi 4, right?
Right, because obviously, that's why I think it kind of makes sense to just throw it into the game. Because I mean, Resident Evil 2, you had if you play as Leon, you had that moment where you got to play as Ada for a little bit. And then obviously with Claire, you get to play as Sherry. I would think that they would add that into the game, but even if it is like after you beat it and you play that, like I just it's got to be there. It like I can't picture a world where they don't include that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with all the action moves you can do in 4. Like it's meant
Yeah,
for that game, right?
absolutely. I can't believe you can parry the chainsaw. That's insane.
Well, you could do it in the base game as well. It's
Yeah,
incredibly rare, but I've done it by accident one time
nice.
where I was panicking and just flinging my knife away repeatedly, and then it just timed right, and then had to QTE the like Star Wars style the chainsaw in my knife. It was dumb but amazing to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they've added a parry mechanic too, as
Yeah.
well in general. But yeah, no, very exciting. I hope it keeps that campiness of that 4 had that was very
Oh,
funny.
I think it will. There was already a scene. I don't know if you're. I won't spoil it if you're trying to also keep it blind, but there was definitely a scene that Leon said something funny in the latest trailer.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Because
was.
the whole point of Resident Evil 4 is a reminiscence of like old campy action movies, right? So
Right.
if they lose that, then they lose the whole point of that game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna probably go with a little bit more serious tone, but they're still gonna throw in those like campy little moments in there, which I think is like perfect because at the end of the day, I do want it to be spooky and
Oh, for
it's
sure.
good. It's gonna definitely be more actiony than like say if you're going back to like the older Resident Evils, but still it's the best of both worlds at that point.
Yeah.
It's not Resident Evil 6. As long as it's not Resident Evil 6, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which again, it's not a bad co-op game, but it's just not a good Resident Evil game. They tried to do too much. There was just
Well,
insane.
same thing with 5. It's not a very good game, but co-op when you play with a friend, it's hilarious to play.
Oh yeah, and at least with 5, there's some semblance of like tying it into the Resident Evil lore. 6 just went so bonkers.
It's still super dumb though.
Yeah.
I mean, you fight in a volcano at some point. I mean,
Yep.
super dumb.
Yeah. Forget anything being grounded in reality.
Rick punch, not Rick. What's his name? Chris.
Chris,
Punches
yeah.
the boulder. I mean, there's just so much memes with Resident Evil 5.
If they ever remake 5, they should definitely do a play on that. Like, should have him like punch the boulder in the game, but like have him be like, oh, like shaking his hand, like, oh, that hurt.
Or he breaks his arm.
Yeah, or like Sheva's just like, that wasn't a good idea, Chris.
Dumbass.
Oh man, be great. I love when they call themselves on their own shit.
I'm wondering if they'll do actually a remake of 5 or 6.
I was just gonna
Or if
say,
4
yeah.
will
Will
be
they stop
the
after
top.
4?
I think, well, obviously we'll probably get 9 after the 4 remake, like
Yeah.
and then whatever I personally, I still hope for either a Resident Evil 1 or Code Veronica remake. I think that would be great. But if they continue in the trend that they're doing, it'll probably be 5, which would be awesome because we'll get to have hopefully a co-op, Resident Evil that's, looks as good as they do now. And if by some chance they remake Resident Evil 6, they need to just throw out the entire script and just make a new one. Because I don't want to play Michael Bay the game. I I want my spooky Resident Evil, like, a little bit of campy, focus on survival, like barely having ammo, like it just all the good stuff. Like I want it to be, oh man, Resident Evil 7 really set them in the right course after 6. That was like such a godsend.
I don't think they'll make a remake of 5. I think they'll stop at 4, and then 9 will be completely different from
Yep.
8 or the remake, and then they'll just continue on with how many whatever Resident Evil from there. And
Yeah,
then
because
for like 20, 30 years later, maybe more, then they'll do a remake of Resident Evil 7 and 8. And
right. Oh God, that'd be a wild day.
and then my kids will be like, "Oh, that looks cool," and I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's probably not as good as the original." And then,
I can't wait for Resident Evil 39.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, 6 was so weird. It was like, every zombie was like an army of, and shooting bazookas every 2 seconds, and it's
Oh yeah,
so dumb.
and so here's the thing about it is like it was packed full of stuff, and like I feel like the meetings that they had to go over the like concepts of everything, nobody said no to anything. They said throw it in there, whatever you got, throw it in there. You want grasshopper people? Let's throw it in there. Why the fuck not? Like, yeah, it was just such a poorly, again, it plays well. Like, it's not a bad game. It doesn't function terribly. It's just the story, man. The story, whatever they were doing with it, was just not good. Just not good. I wanted it to be good, but it was just not.
Plus, I mean, well, even gameplay-wise, I mean, it was okay. It was serviceable, but it wasn't
Right.
great.
Right. If you took Resident Evil out of it, and just made it like its own separate game, it could have passed as like a something that would get like a 78, review score or something on Metacritic. Like it would have been totally fine.
I think the story behind it is that they wanted to do this big. They wanted it to be this big action thing because they wanted it to be like almost like the Avengers of Resident Evil. The game where it brings every hero from every game into that same game and stop this big calamity of all calamities that is the biggest since all the other games and blah 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 and all that. So that was what they were trying to do, I think. But it's let's just say it was short-sighted.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm tired of Jill getting snubbed. I'm sick of seeing Chris. I'm over Chris. Let's bring Jill back, like even Claire, like bring her. I would love to see Barry. I know he was in Revelations too, but
Oh yeah, Barry was cool. I like Barry. And yeah, Jill should have more screen time.
Yeah. Jill and Ada, they're the two best girls.
Oh, for sure. I really like Ada, but even 6 all made it very weird too. Made Ada very weird, so now I'm conflicted with her.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It was a whole 6 just needs to be retconned. That was then you had what was it, Helena's sister or whatever, who was just like completely naked and was a very, very horny boss.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very awkward boss battle to have anyone walk in on while you're playing,
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I actually got into Resident Evil. I actually got introduced to Resident Evil by playing 6. One of my friends had it.
Oh
so I got introduced like that.
So you got to witness that.
It was 5 or 6. I completely forgot. So it's like for me with the whole Leon story, all the stories of Leon with with Ada's,
Yeah. So you had
like
Leon
that.
and Helena. You had Chris and Pierce, and then you had Sherry with Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesker's son or whatever.
My friend, she really liked Jake's story. I'm like, because he's a hot guy, of course. he's a hot guy.
Of course.
That's always the thing, right? Even in movies.
I mean, that's how I pick to watch my anime, to be honest. But,
nice husbandos.
Yeah, the husbandos. And then so like we were actually fighting her because we were in the living room and then we had her grandma walk out on us while we're fighting her and like hi.
What's this naked lady doing? Like moaning and touching herself. It's weird. And she's all
Yeah,
slimy.
yeah, and me and her just looked at each other like, and her grandma just looked at us and just like walked the other direction. Like it's kind of one of those moments where you're watching a really good anime, right? And one of your siblings or your significant other walked in on you at the worst possible moment while watching anime. Like it's not what it looks like. I promise.
For sure. That always happened to me when I was living with my parents. One of my favorite animes, Evangelion, and so
Okay.
it's a show, about robots with, how pilots are coping with, the whole destruction of mankind and all sorts of big, heavy topic. But of course, and I've been talking about it for like years and years to my parents. And of course, the only thing they see or they walk in is the main character falling on the naked lady, which is the only scene in the whole show where it's like that.
Yeah,
It's just
no,
God.
it's worse when, because I live with my mom currently, and then I have my sister and her boyfriend living with us as well. I'm a broke college student. Don't come at me.
fine.
And then so I was actually watching Food Wars in my room, and I don't have
see.
headphones. My door is wide open. So, with Food Wars, it's about the food, and it's just like, how, these students, if you've seen Food Wars, you know.
Yeah.
But it's about like, these kids are in culinary school. They're trying to be like the, top tier restaurant, right? They top tier owner restaurant.
Mhm.
So my sister, no one was home at this moment. I was in the living room watching Food Wars. My sister came home at the wrong moment of time when the judges were trying the food. And I was watching it on my phone. So my sister walked in as they're trying the food. The judges are trying the food and like, moaning and stuff like that because of the food.
Mhm.
And my sister just looked at me like, I'm like, sis, it's not what you look like, okay? I'm watching anime, it's about food. She's like, baby sis, what you do on your own time is what you do on your own time. It's not like that. It's not like that. Oh my god. I'm like, you want to see what I'm watching? And she's like, no. Just make sure no one's home. I'm like, sis, it's not like that. It's just a terrible moment, and my sister's boyfriend likes to make fun of me a lot. He's that annoying brother that I wish I never had. But I have two brothers. They're both annoying. And then so my sister told him about it, and he looked at me like, I didn't know you were into that. I'm like, it's not like that. But
You do love
like,
food, though, right?
yeah, I do, but doesn't mean like again, if you know Food Wars, you know.
Of course, I'm just joking.
Yeah, like for those who hasn't watched it, it's very interesting how I mean the plot, everything was great up into season 3, because it foreshadows anyways. But
There's 3
but yeah,
seasons of it now?
there's
I
3
only watched the
seasons.
first season. I didn't know there were 3 seasons of it.
Season 1 and season 2 is great. Highly recommended. But I would say watch season 3 to see them actually go to the whole blue competition where it's like, it's a serious competition. But like, I don't know if you're okay with me actually saying it what happens, but like what it foreshadowed in season 1 about his dad is the same thing with him basically after the whole blue competition. But it's, and then the main top tier girl in there, she has the nickname as a Dodson, whatever. They just have really good taste buds, and it's just like the whole you just see she just completely falls in love with him. You already know it foreshadows that already.
I see.
But yeah, it's all right.
I've never seen this, but it sounds wild.
It is. Oh, Jimmy, we need to plan a night for you to watch Food Wars with me. That'd be
All right.
great.
But can I bring
Mindful,
food?
if you're in. Mindful, are you in? Cat Trooper, you are into?
I still have to figure out how to do these Discord movies and stuff, so maybe that could be our first one.
Yeah, I know. You really need to like, I guess, share your screen and stuff like that. Make sure, like, test play. Make sure the audio is coming through for everyone.
Oh, okay.
Well, we got to do a Kung
Yeah.
Pao night too, though.
Oh yeah.
Good. Look at the streamers just saying everything to collabing at this very moment.
Exactly.
I don't think to stream Food Wars on Twitch though. I think you could cancel real quick or like ban.
No, just for the Discord.
Just for Discord.
I was gonna say,
But yeah,
sorry, I was gonna say awkward moments too. When you guys are mentioning that, I think the worst one is when there's something you have to do in the video game to get like a reward or whatever, but like it's really awkward. The one I could think of instantly was God of War. When you ended up
my God.
when you ended up having sex with whoever it was, right? But you got like these orbs out of it, and
Yeah.
I had the same thing, Catcher. My mom walked in, and I was like, "Yeah, but I have to do it to get." She's like, "You have to do it, like you have to do it." I was like, "No, really, like I have to do it because it gives me something."
I've had so many moments like that, and
Yeah,
every
same.
time I've done those moments, whoever I was with at the time would walk in and be like, "What are you doing?"
Same, yeah.
Or the first,
Like Yakuza is a game that sometimes has some moments, and one of those is there's like you can do a video chat with a live it's obviously not live, but they have like pre-recorded live girls that you chat with in the game, and I have to do that because I gotta get the trophies.
yeah.
So
that's the same thing with Genshin. When you run out of stamina, and it's just a whole different ballgame from there. You use your
What?
imagination for that.
I didn't play enough Genshin to know. What are you talking about?
So when you run out of stamina, right? When you're like running or whatever, that wastes your stamina. Or when you're, so I'm also having dinner. My mom brought me dinner, so
anything good?
it's like noodles and steroids. But yeah, but I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Jimmy.
Sorry, I love food.
Why is Genshin inappropriate? You're saying with the stamina.
One low stamina, yeah.
Yeah, it's because when they're low stamina, they're like, you know how when you run out of breath if you're like running stuff with that, it sounds more sexualized, if that makes sense.
But is it worse than Dead by Daylight's?
Yeah, it's true. Actually,
when the female characters are after they've been hit and you're running away and they're wounded.
Okay, it's not worse than Dead by Daylight. It's not by but it's definitely because I realized when I play, right, and you can hear it through my headphones. My dog's barking. I apologize, but
That's right. He's
so
forgiven. He's
barking.
cute.
He's annoyed. But yeah, I can definitely hear it through my headphones, and I don't even. It's loud enough where I take off my headphones, I can still hear it. And definitely, if my setup wasn't how it's set up currently, it would really sound like I'm watching something that I shouldn't be watching.
yeah, it's like up there when you're trying to explain to someone. Well, in Grand Theft Auto, you see, I need to have sex with a hooker and then run her over to get my money back. It's like you gotta do what? I have I think I told you guys this before, but I have this one volunteer that comes in. I end up hiring him for 1 day a week, but he's so funny. He has the worst habit of talking about a game, but he talks about it on the sales floor in front of customers. And if you don't know he's talking about like Resident Evil or Red Dead Redemption or something like that, like it sounds so bad. He'll walk up to a customer, he's like, "Yeah, so last night I took out my bow and I shot this moose," and he's just going on about his game. And I'll look at the customer and be like, "Yeah, he's talking about a video game. It's okay. He's not really running
Yeah.
outside with a bow and arrow." Like,
That sounds like me actually. I would do that. Yeah.
it's just so funny.
Honestly, that's so many like out content moments in Arrow.
But he just brings the customer right into the conversation. Literally goes right up to him. He's like, "Hey, you wonder what I did last night?"
Oh my god.
I got a bunch of non sequiturs for you. Would
Yeah.
you like to hear them?
At that moment, they're wondering, should I call headquarters? Like what?
Oh, such a funny kid.
Love it.
But two parts, I guess. Sleepy. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to think about this one, but I did lose my partner in crime tonight, Mr. Fundead. And it was his turn this time around to think of a question to end our stream off with. So the last few times, like I was saying, for at least this podcast, we try to end every stream off with like a positive, I guess, answer from each person. So for example, one time we asked, what was your childhood dream that you wanted to grow up and be career-wise? Another time before that, it was goals you had for the year, etc., etc. So yeah, if you take some time, think of something that you think would be worthwhile asking, and then we'll go around and quickly answer that. While you're thinking of that, Jimmy, you never got a chance to yet, my man, and it's been a while since you've been on the podcast. I know it's getting a little bit late, sorry everybody, but I'm dying to hear at least what you've been doing game-wise, and with some shout-outs you want to give, because you played some pretty big games recently, so just be cool to hear your feedback.
Well, first and foremost, I am a scatterbrain when it comes to gaming, and I'm really working on the backlog. But I have been dying to play more Dead Space, but I'm saving it for streaming, and I might do it again this Thursday. But the Dead Space remake is amazing. They're just throwing it out there. It is absolutely amazing. They did such a good job with it. I just recently got into Octopath Traveler 2, and I am 1,000% in love with it. So that is probably what I'll be playing until this Friday, which Wo Long is coming out. And that game is going to be a blast. It's like a better Neo, basically. Kind of set within like the Dynasty Warriors style thing, where it's
okay.
that Romance of the Three Kingdoms stuff, but obviously changed up, and it's not like the traditional Dynasty Warriors style gameplay. It's more like on the lines of Neo, so very
So it's a
fast.
Chinese Neo.
Basically, yeah. Yep.
Because Neo is quite Japanese. So.
Yes, yeah, and it's I played the demo. I love it, absolutely love it. So I'm looking forward to the full game releasing this Friday. So that'll be fun. I was playing Fatal Frame tonight, Fatal Frame 5, because the fourth one's coming out next week. So I was trying to finish that off before before that one comes out. It's been insane with games lately. Like, I'm just not ready, because then at the end of March, I got Resident Evil 4 Remake, which I took 2 days off of work to play through that. So that'll be what I'm doing as soon as it drops. Not even sleeping. I'm just going to play it till I beat it.
Like, I mean, I know we still got a lot to go through for this year, but just based on like every time I talk to you about it, like you're just so pumped about this year. Do you feel like has this been like the best year of gaming so far, or like with what's coming out? Obviously, I haven't experienced or played a lot of them yet, but like, do you feel like this is going to be like your year when it comes to gaming?
I do. I think this year there's a lot more to be hyped about. I mean, there's been good games that have come out, but like this year, I think it's really like okay, we're coming back. Like, gaming's coming back. We're gonna, I mean, and it's great. It's a great year to be a hot too. Like, at some point, Silent Hill 2 remake's gonna be coming. You know what I mean? So it's like,
this year,
dude, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have a release date yet. But
I don't think it will be this year.
Okay. I mean, maybe.
Maybe. I'd love to be surprised by that, but
Yeah, I mean, again, if it got a release date this year, who knows? They'll probably delay it like everything else gets delayed.
yeah, until 2024. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Dead Island 2
Yep.
is coming out this year.
true.
That'll be fun. Diablo 4 is coming out.
Yeah.
I think it's in the same month as Final Fantasy 16, so that'll be another busy month.
Yeah,
I know Baldur's Gate 3 just got announced for PS5. I
Yeah.
know that's been in early access for forever on Steam. Yeah, it's tough when you like all kinds of games.
No, it's true,
just
but
like,
yeah, like there's a lot. Like there's just a lot of selection this year.
Yeah.
Because when the first time you brought it up to me, I think in December, like I looked it up at work with the buddy, and I was like, "Holy crap! Like this is a big list." Like,
Yep. Oh yeah, it's insane. There's gonna be no shortage of gaming. That's for sure.
so I guess so far, Jimmy, what's been your favorite from this year that you played?
Oh man.
Like so far, you know.
So
There might be
far,
better ones.
it hasn't been long, but so far, my favorite
probably Dead Space.
it might be. I mean, but I really like the Callisto Protocol as well. I know
Oh
that.
yeah, me too. I
Yeah,
loved
that
it.
was. Oh, it was so good. I
Yeah.
know it got a lot of hate, but I loved it. I was like, I
Same.
don't know what people expected, but I was expecting something that wasn't, that was similar enough to Dead Space, but wasn't exactly Dead Space, and it scratched that itch. So I would, yeah,
I
it's a
finished
tough
the game.
choice.
I finished the game, started the new game plus, and bought the season pass. So like, I can't wait for more Callisto.
Yeah, they definitely left it hanging, and I was like, oh, you would.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's gonna be those two were pretty good highlights for me. I know that I'm gonna get stuck into Wolong when that drops because I already loved the demo and the network test before that. It's just my totally up my alley. And then Elden Ring just got an announcement that there's gonna be DLC coming, and I was just like,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
god, because I love the Souls games. Like those are like, oh, ever since Demon Souls on PS3 back in the day, like I've been hooked. So. Oh, I'm just a scatterbrain when it comes to games. It's like gamer ADD. I think is what I get them all over the place.
No, but you guys are right though. Yeah, when you think about it, at least console wise, there isn't a lot of games like Dead Space. So, yeah, like
Yeah,
I get you. Like, why not have more of that like atmosphere and environment?
right. And the benefit for the Callisto Protocol is that like it was new. You know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah,
where like Dead Space
exactly.
Remake is amazing, but it's pretty familiar because you've played
It's
it
Dead
before.
You've
Space.
been there before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dead Space 1, 2, 3.
Dead
It's all
Space
the
3.
same.
I didn't play it, but is Surge similar to that kind of style? I know it's Souls like, but I mean like is it like that kind of atmosphere? Did
The
any of you got
Surge.
did you play that one, Jimmy?
I played it a little bit. I planned on going back to it at some point, but naturally, that's what happens to a lot of my games. So my
Of
backlog
course.
just keeps growing. Um, it was. I don't know. I feel like that's one of those ones I'd have to give another chance. It's definitely like
Yeah, I remember
definitely
seeing it.
Souls like.
Yeah, I remember seeing like trailers and stuff. I was like, that game looks pretty interesting, but yeah, I never actually got around to it. So I was just curious how that one was.
The
I will say.
The
Go
Surge
ahead.
is Souls-like. It's just very tamed compared to other games in that genre.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still better than Lords of the Fallen though.
Yes,
That was a clunky ass game. That was really, really. There really wasn't a lot of enemy variety in that one, and
there
the
was
gameplay was.
nothing good.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't good. I'm hoping that the new one, the Lords of the Fallen, um, I'm hoping that one ends up being good.
Rehash.
Yeah, I'm hoping that one's gonna be good because yeah, that first one was like, yeah, could have been better. Could have been a lot better.
And then any shows or movies, Jimmy, you've been watching that you wanted to shout out?
I I gotta be honest, I haven't really been watching much of anything.
He's like, dude, I'm
just
playing all these games. Come on now.
yeah, I got no time to watch stuff. Between work and gaming, like oh.
I just
I
thought of
mean,
something.
you work from home, Jimmy. You can watch movies and work at the same time. Just
Yeah,
saying.
but I know, but I put people's streams on in the background, and sometimes Mindful will do it during the day, and I can watch them.
I just thought of something actually that I watched that I absolutely loved is the TV show Barry. If none
Oh
of
yeah,
you,
that's a great one.
Oh,
I've listened to every season one after the other. It's so good. It has become one of my favorite show of all time, and it has one of my favorite episodes of all time in that show. So
what's that show on Cat Trooper? The Chris and the Super Show never actually says. I was always curious.
it's HBO, which means crave.
Oh, okay.
And or I would say, I guess, find you can. I'm sure there's ways to watch it online. And but yeah, no, it's definitely worth it. I know you can buy the DVDs. Actually, buy the DVDs if you.
Oh, okay.
I want the DVDs. Actually, it's so good.
Mindful, I think you'd like it. It's just an interesting blend of because there is a little bit of seriousness to it, but there's also a lot of great humor in it.
Oh yeah, it's
I
a
say it's a
comedy.
comedy, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be right up your alley.
Extremely funny, but everything is taken seriously.
Oh,
Like it's not
okay.
like people say 1-2 jokes. It's more like situational and yeah, no, it's just really well done. Well, do you
Yeah.
know the story a bit or?
Like I said, just from the Super Show, just from whatever Chris has kind of talked about off and on, because they watched it. Oh God, it's been a few months back now. I think they talked about it. It sounded interesting, but yeah, no one ever said what it was on. So I was like, oh, how am I gonna watch it?
But yeah, without spoiling anything, it's like this paid assassin that is having a crisis of, in his life.
Okay.
He doesn't feel like he wanted to do what he does, so he decides to take on theater, and he's loving working on himself and doing theater, and but it's taking away from his job that gets paid. So there's just a lot there. It's super funny. It's great.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Like I could sell it more, but I'm just.
Sorry.
I'm trying to remember the character's name. Is it Hank? He's like the best.
Yeah, NoHo Hank.
Yeah, he's the best.
Buddy.
Yeah, you'll love it.
Episode is the one with the little girl.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite episodes in like any shows. Like that was so good.
I'll have to check it out then.
For sure.
Sorry, Sleepy. Did you get a chance to think of a question?
I think so. It's more like a self question, I guess. Yeah, I get. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No worries. Damn, hot seat now. Shit.
You got this. It's fine. It's just us.
This is what Fundead goes through every week.
I have a new respect for him now.
That's why he's bolted out of the last two podcasts.
I guess one of the questions is like, I didn't know what to think of, so I asked Gary. Just look at him too, as to like what's a good like question.
Okay.
So I guess one of the questions would be like, what are you most proud about yourself? I guess. So like, was it like, yeah. What made you proud of yourself? Basically, like, what's the proudest moment? I guess. I don't know how to explain it.
No, that's a good one. So yeah, Jimmy. So
Like-
what's your proudest moment? Just kidding. Yeah.
Oh God. No. Well, let's see. Proudest moment. All right. Well, I'll do this. I'll do a work one recently because it's something I normally wouldn't have done, but finally kind of got the courage to do so. Work has been burning me out for a while now, like pretty much like all of last year and beginning into this year. So,
what's your work?
I do like basically the easiest way to explain is I make claims lists.
Oh,
But I
okay.
work from home full time, but the place that I work at is in a different state.
I
Um,
see.
Yep. So, but the thing is, I'm one of the people that has the most experience in my department, so a lot of the stuff falls on me.
Right.
We have a lot of people that don't know a lot of it, so I'm constantly like being asked questions, dealing with like all the really difficult stuff that we get. Um, and it's just been a lot. Like we've been taking on new clients, and just not bore you with the details, but it's just been a lot, put on me. And I finally, like a couple weeks ago, met with like a higher up and was like, "Listen, I'm getting burnt out. I have to like something has to happen because I can't keep going the way I'm going. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fizzle out and just want to leave."
Yeah.
So like normally I just take it, right? So I would just do my work and just go and whatever, and let the stress just get to me, and you know. But now I'm just like, no, I'm gonna let them know this is a different year. I'm gonna get it all out there and make work better for me, make life better for me, and on top of that, make a better effort too. So I want to be around more, make a better effort reaching out to people, and just not being so reserved. I know it sounds crazy because I've been a wacky ass this entire time I've been here, but I
I
just
totally get it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do have a tendency to hold a lot in instead of just letting it all out.
Good.
So
Same.
that's
Same.
something I'm proud of for this year.
Hell yeah, it's the year of the zombie, buddy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
New year, new me.
Love it.
Cat Trooper, you want to go next?
Sure. And that one is a bit hard because I, t-
It's a
I
big
tend to
question.
rarely be well. I tend to rarely be proud of myself. I tend to always think it's not enough or go further or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember of a memory specifically, actually in high school, when there was a text that needed to be written, and that I think needed to continue a scenario or make up a scenario with these rules or something like that. And everybody did like I think a revenge story in class, and I had a sort of a whole conspiracy paid assassin storyline, and the teacher liked it so much that she took it up and showed it to the whole class and said how amazing it was, and that basically what I had written was great and all that. And it's that memory that also made me push myself at maybe writing more professionally and working on my book and all that. So that's one particular memory that I keep remembering, that I was so proud during that moment of like of writing something and being recognized it like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Especially that I
wicked.
had, especially that I had lots of problems in high school with teachers in general. So it was also surprising. So
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That
that's
really is.
cool.
It reminded me of when I was in sixth grade and we had to write like a my life as something, and everyone's putting like my life as a cat, my life as all these different like animals and all like a rich person and stuff like that. And what do I come up with? My life as the letter O. But my teacher loved it, and I mean, I didn't really do much after that with writing. But when I was younger, I did want to be a writer, but I wanted to write like horror stuff, and I never ended up keeping up with it. Well, I guess this is like the opposite now because I'm going to talk about something I'm disappointed in. But like, well, because I had such like aspirations of becoming like this horror writer. Like I wanted to write horror stories and creepy things that had like very, like I was just very infatuated with horror, which I know is a complete shock to you, right? So, um, and I just like after that, like I just never did anything with it. I had like this book that like I used to write little stories in and have like half stories in there, and I just stopped one day and just never went back to writing.
Do you think it's something you'd still want to do, or?
I do think about it every once in a while, but you got that inner voice, right? That's like, you probably can't do it, or it's not going to be good enough, and like why bother, that kind of thing. Sometimes,
Sure. But
um,
maybe you could change your way of looking at it, and instead of looking at the way of, oh, well, I can't do this book or whatever, you could just, in a way like someone that draws or that watch a movie, right? You could just do it as a recreational activity, and
that's
without it
true.
being a big thing, it could be fun and healthy.
That's true, because it's not really like I have a deadline. I could just add to it if I think of anything.
Exactly. It's only if you really wanted to make a career, then now you would need to like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, because I was saying to Mindful that sometimes I say I'm swamped with work, but I'm also talking about when I work on my book. It's
Right.
work, every day, even when I don't necessarily want to, I go on it and make it advance, because if I just do it for the fun of it, then it's just recreational, and
Right.
it won't, I won't finish it, right? But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's not
it's
a bad
okay
plan.
also to write and just do it for fun. You don't need to for it to be a big book and have the bestseller and become like Stephen King.
Right. Yeah, it's fair. Maybe I'll do that. I get like a little notebook or something, or I'll type it up on the computer.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I think of it like the same thing with streaming, right? Where always are like there, right? For like example, Mindful and you, and I'm getting there, okay. But it's like it's the same thing with streaming. We all stream for fun. None of us really think of it as like, oh, I have to stream. I have to put out content. It's just I do it to relieve. I do it not only for myself, but like for my friends, the support I have, and it's just like it's not really a job. It's more of like this is my de-stress. This is my hobby, basically. If that makes sense. But yeah, that's my like that's my 2 cents.
Because my writing started off as a hobby at first. Like I was bored after work waiting for the bus, and like I started to not be able to sleep because I kept thinking about the stories I had. At some point, I just started to outline it in a book or in pages, write some stuff, and then I would sleep, right? And then it would help me have fun and all that. So it started off as a hobby, and then I decided to take it more seriously afterwards.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys have such
So all
nice
this
stories about like school and all that, and I was just thinking back, was like I know I always have moments to be proud of, but I was just thinking too. I was like, shit, man, I have so many more funnier stories of dumb shit I did in school than I do of proud moments I had at school.
I love those
it's just
stories.
like it's like in general. It doesn't have to be a school. Like in general, like
No, I know.
one thing.
The one I counted was the only proud one from school that I had. Otherwise, I don't have any.
Like, I'll make you laugh, Cat Trooper. Okay, like one example of like dumb crap I used to do in school was I remember we were in I guess it was band class. Like we basically you just played either the xylophone or you played the recorder. Like that's all they taught us.
Sure.
Anyway, they were talking because I didn't ever pay attention in class to anything any teacher was saying. I tuned in at the part where the teacher was like, "Yeah, so make sure you have your trolls ready for tomorrow." And I was like, "What trolls?" I was like those toys. But like if I would have listened earlier, she was talking about patrols, like like a position you can have. So I don't know if you have it. You might have it because you're in Canada too. Where they stand at intersections around the school and they help kids cross the street. So they were talking about that, and I assumed that they were talking about trolls, and that the next day, if I didn't bring a troll to class, I was gonna like get F on whatever the assignment was. So I went home that night, convinced my mom she had to buy me this fucking troll doll. And I was like, no, I gotta bring it tomorrow. Like it's important. Yeah. So anyway, I came to that class the next day, all proud of myself. It was in my hand and everything. And then like at no point did the teacher talk about trolls. I was like, well, what the fuck's going on? Like why am I the one that has it? And of course, logical, I could ask a friend. No, I didn't. So I went up to the teacher at the end of the class. I was like, yeah, so like, like when are we talking about trolls? Like, why did I have to buy this? And then she explained to me, she's like, no, it was patrols. I was asking who wanted to volunteer for this position. But yeah, just lots of stupid shit like that. Like just dumb crap that I used to do as a kid.
Yeah.
I love that.
I talked. Sorry, Jimmy, what?
That's the best story I've ever heard.
Over here cracking up, like, oh my god.
Actually, okay, I already said this on stream. My only story I'll go on with right now, but I used to get bullied really bad at school, right? So like, sadness aside, we'll push that away. So my revenge, I think it was around like grade 6 or 7. I don't know how I thought of this. Like, honestly, this is fucking serial killer, like top notch. Like I can't believe I thought of this shit. I don't know why we did this. We always put our shoes outside of our classroom before we walked in. And it was only for this particular grade. And it was always on the second floor. I have no idea why a teacher made us do this, but it was mandatory. You had to remove your shoes, put them outside the classroom, go into the classroom with just your socks on. So
Sounds
anyway,
like the teacher had a weird kink.
yeah, but it was like the whole second floor did it. It was like the second floor thing. That's what you did when you were on the second floor.
The fuck?
Yeah, right. So obviously I know who my bullies are and who their shoes are, right? So I became the fucking toilet, I don't know, what do they call it? The toilet shoe bandit. So basically what I did is one day when I left the classroom, right, I saw the guy's shoes and I was just so mad at him, right? I was like, this motherfucker. And in my head, I was like, I could take this shoe and I could put it in a dirty toilet right now and no one would catch me. I don't know how that came to my head, right? But anyway, so I took the shoe, put it in the toilet, right? It was nasty. There was turds and stuff in there. Went back to the classroom. I was like, okay, I gotta see if I'm gonna get away with this. And by golly, I got away with it, okay? This went on for half a year. It came to the point that the principal would come into classrooms and have this discussion with, this needs to end. I don't know which one of you is doing this, but you need to stop putting shoes in toilets. And like they had someone patrolling the hallways. Like I had to get more and more advanced with my tactics, but it just became a full thing for that year. And yeah, no one ever figured out who the shoe bandit was that was taking left to right.
We know.
Now everyone knows.
I think when you get bullied enough, you start thinking in ways of fighting back.
Yeah, right. Like I said nothing bad. Like I wasn't hurting anyone, but yeah, like I'm gonna fuck your shoe up. Like.
So that's your most proud thing?
Yeah, I guess so. No.
I love it.
I don't have anything that extravagant here.
my most proud, I told you guys many times, just is doing this. Like on here on streams, I might talk a lot, but in person, I'm the most awkward like person you could possibly talk to. Like I don't even know how I'm a store manager. It's most days, in all honesty. I will talk to people like while I'm trying to coach them. Most of my dialogue is, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you get what I mean? Like, do you understand what I'm like? I can't explain myself at all. I could write you down everything that I want to say and it would come up perfectly, but just to talk to you one-on-one, I feel bad for the people I coach. I really do. Even when I'm on cash, right? Like in my head, I have to think of like retail as if I'm an actor. Like I can't think of it as I'm going to a job because the minute I do, my anxiety just, I don't know, it acts up a lot. So I'm like, every day I'm acting a role as a store manager, and that's how I have to pretend a bit in my head. So if I'm on cash, like I was saying, for example, like I have my dialogue all figured out. Like, hey, how's your day? Yeah, that weather. Okay, out the door. Hey, how's your day? Yeah, that weather. Out the door.
Honestly, I feel that. I'm the same with work because just like you, Mindful, like when I'm not working or when I'm not working as a barber or when I'm not streaming, I'm the most timid, awkward person you to meet IRL. I'm just like, who? You talking to me? No, you're not talking to me. Like, type stuff. But like
Yeah, and like
when I'm working, it's automatic because I know my strip. Just like I'm like I know my script. Like they come in, hi, we have a little sign-in sheet. So please write your name and time. We'll be right with you if my mom and I are both busy. And I'm like, hi, I can help you right here. And I'm like, how would you like your haircut today? How's your day? Continues. I'm gonna say I understand.
no worry. Yeah, I'm just usually not the person that ever like completes anything either. Like beating video games, like I've played video games my whole life, but I'll be honest with y'all, I haven't beaten many video games because I just usually hop from one thing to the next.
You beat Halo 1?
I get, yeah, buddy. But yeah, when it does happen, like that's why I usually get so excited about a game and I'll talk about it a lot because like, yeah, I can actually have an opinion. I beat it from start to finish, right? So yeah, like just doing this and having something I commit to, having something that I can't be awkward and full of anxiety with. I mean, I am, but like I cope with it. I handle it. So yeah, this is definitely probably the most proudest thing I've done in my life, and it's mine too, which is cool. So yeah. That was a very
Well, I'm
long.
proud of you.
Oh, thanks. I know. That was super long. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sleepy, what about you? What's your proudest thing?
Shoot. I guess a oncurring proudest moment for me that is still like ongoing. It's being being a young. I wouldn't say successful yet. Is getting there. A young semi-successful barber. Currently, it's because like not a lot, because a lot of barbers. Because I've been in a barber shop for like all my life. My mom's a barber, so like I've been the earliest memory of me being in a barber shop is like 6 to 8 years old. I was the awkward kid. You would come in. I was the awkward kid who like sweep the floor, clean up my mom's stools, and then when you try to talk to me, I'll hide. But now being now already 5 almost 6 years into this job, I'm proud to say I am one of the young successful barber. Because a lot of barbers I know to this day, from when I started barber school up to now, they were all in their mid to late 20s. And when I started barbering, I was 18. So I was in the 100 guys in a single room, 100 plus guys in a single room, being the only girl, and being 18. Everyone else had like baby mama troubles and married or like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then just seeing from start to now, I won't say start to finish. This is my career. This is my actually full career. But just seeing how well I've grown from my very first haircut to my very first zero fade to now, I'm just like, I did that. It's not a lot of there's not a lot of successful female barbers out there. Like right now, there's a lot of female barbers trying to become barbers. But like I was one of the few who actually got her license, and a lot of people where I work at, a lot of people know Sleepy. Everyone knows, or my actual name is like Sevi. Everyone knows Sevi. Everyone knows AKA Sleepy. Everyone knows Sleepy. So it's just so cool when I walk around my work town and they're like, "Oh, aren't you my barber?" Or like, "Oh," or like a year or two later they would come in and support just after like COVID and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh yeah, I remember the first time you cut my hair way before COVID," and it's just seeing or just hearing clients, like older clients, be like, "My wife love your haircuts. Like she thinks you're absolutely the best. My wife only wants me to go to you, or my girlfriend only wants me to go to you." And or just having my regulars just introduce their friends to me. They're like, "Oh, so and so introduced me to you, and I want to give you a try." And they're like, "Oh my god, you're amazing." And I'm like, stuff like small stuff like that, or just seeing someone with a lot of hair go to short hair. at first it's complicated. So it's like when you have really long hair, you go short. It's hard a little bit because that's a huge transaction. But just seeing from that start to finish, and just seeing that big smile, and knowing I did that, it's a great feeling. I love my job, and it's just, and also just second part is being a streamer. Just because I've been stream for like 2.5 months now or so,
And
and
killing
just
it.
yeah, you're too modest, Jimmy. But just
No, still
seeing,
he's right. If it's only been 2 months, I'm surprised actually. That's cool. No,
yeah,
there's a
Yeah.
couple of
yeah,
people I come to watch, and it's only been 2 months, so that's really good.
yeah, and it's just when I first started streaming, I only had like 5-10 people, which is just Judd and the rest of my friends that pressured me into streaming, and just seeing just seeing, even with my, now that I have set up for commands, and I have a streamer, I have a follower goal now, and just seeing from 5 to 10 followers to 31, now currently 31 followers, I'm like, holy shit, oh my god, like, I get proud when I see 5 people watching me. I'm like, oh my god, it's like
That's
the
awesome.
people, and just seeing like even like random people who come in and just check me out, and they talk a little bit, and then they ask me questions about Valorant, and it's just like knowing and to seeing them follow me, just I was like, oh my god, being a barber and being a streamer, it's definitely from where I started up to now. I guess that would be my proudest. It's like just seeing myself self improve and just grow as not only as as a young adult, but as a barber, and now as a streamer. It's great. I love it.
No, that's awesome, Sleepy. Yeah, I mean that's so cool. Like you said, at one point in your life, you're gonna have that whole business under your belt, and that's really neat.
Yeah, that's scary. That's a scary point.
Scary, but yeah, you definitely have the confidence to do it. I think
Oh
you
yeah.
do.
And I feel
Streams are
barbers in general, I think they are much better at cutting hair than hairstylist. I'm just saying that from experience, but also because I think they have a better understanding of the face and just head shape and all that than
Yeah,
hairstylist.
a lot of like people who are like cosmetologists, and or like even like big companies like Supercuts and stuff like that. They just want you in and out, while actual barbershops are like, okay, I don't get to every last tiniest little detail, to
Yeah, you guys
make it
build
all like fit
relationships.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
other big companies and hairstylists, they just want you in and out. Like they don't
Yeah,
care. They just
it's
want your money.
overpriced. It's
You know that
overpriced
skill
for what it is.
translates to streaming too.
Honestly, I was thinking about that for a longest time, but I haven't done like a face review or anything yet. So,
You mean streaming
definitely,
your barbering?
um, yeah, a little bit a little bit where I work at, the whole shop, but it's not the full on. Oh, I have a client. Let me, stream while they're, I'm in the middle of it. Because that's also like the client's comfortability of it.
Sure.
But definitely I do eventually I do want to do like a little like live stream vlog type of thing, just as a a little daily what I go through when I'm not gaming, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But that's that's in the damn near future. We'll see.
How far in advance do I have to book an appointment? My hair's
you're
getting
so
out of control.
you're so far from me though. You're like
I
a
know.
whole different. It's literally like all of us live in like different states.
Yeah.
Something I truly want to do if all of us decide to get together is that's definitely something fun to stream. Like, oh my god, I met Mindful in person, and like, oh my god, I met Jimmy in person. It's great. It's a little fun off collab.
Oh yeah.
Will it be possible if we all live in like different states?
I mean, that's something if you guys want to do. Because for me, I'm in California, so I'm in Cali. So that's why when Mindful does broadcast, I'm like, hold on, I'm still at work, hold on. But it's definitely or like it doesn't have to be like, you know, a stream. It's just like, hey, you know, since we're all friends, let's like actually like see each other, even if it's like through
I won't
Discord or
rest
whatever.
until I meet Mindful in person.
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's same. Mindful. I want to see you like not. It doesn't have to be in person, but like I want to see you and your girlfriend. It'd be nice.
Of course, yeah.
Um,
Lottery dreams, man. We all win the lottery. There you go. We're gonna
Hell yeah.
have.
We'll have our
There's a whole
streamer
bunch of
house.
streamers living together. But like for the Juggernaut, like he's literally like 10 minutes away from me, and we're middle school friends. We're like
Yeah.
childhood friends.
But
So.
you never hang out.
That's on him. That's on
I know
him.
it is.
That's
I
not
know
on me.
it
That's
is.
on him.
Well, I said at one point there you guys were gonna do a stream together too, right? Just to show that you guys were real life friends.
Oh yeah, we actually we have a. I found an old photo of us actually in middle school. But also like it'd be fun just to be like, because I have been on the Juggernaut stream once, but like that's way before like I started streaming myself.
Yeah.
But it's that whole VOD is just terrible. I'm just nervous. Like you could actually tell. Like I was just like I don't want to be here.
I bet I'd get there before he'd stream with you. Because he's like, he never leaves. He's like, no, you know, 10 minutes is too far.
Like I like every time we plan something, it's usually like it's hard to make plans because like either he's dealing with like homework or family,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly workaholic. Technically, I'm always at work. I have no life. I'm at work always. But yeah, no, it's great. And also I kind of want to show off my dog too a little bit.
Of
By now
course.
he's cute. You know he's a pain in the butt. He's cute. But he's a whole nother child. That sounds like he's a whole nother child. But yeah, it's definitely even it's just simple as like, you know, just hopping on Discord just to talk. It doesn't have to be for a broadcast or anything. It's just like, hey, you guys want to socialize?
Right? I got a cam. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I
Same.
mean, I have one too. I just need help. I'm using my phone currently, but you know, yeah, I'm down.
All right. Well, there
I
you
mean,
go.
Jimmy already sees what I look like. I'm such a potato, dude.
No,
That's right.
You're not a potato. Knock it off.
I'm a potato.
No.
But like I also tend to get really shy when I'm on camera. Jimmy knows. Like I tend to get really shy.
That's true. I think you've called me a few times and all I could see was your ceiling.
That's the first few times, but I called you when I'm like driving before, and it's like yeah, I'm, you know, don't mind, because I'm half white, so like it shows when I'm like nervous. It's not great.
Oh man.
But yeah.
That'll be fine. Yeah. So video chat and a movie night one day for the Discord.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we gotta plan it on the weekend. Yeah, be great. Or like on a weekday when everyone's off of work.
So you can see the bags under my eyes.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. Like, hold on. Me and Jimmy gotta put on makeup and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. All of it. I'm a you know, I use CoverGirl, you know? It's fine.
You joke around, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually using like a $60 face lotion just to fucking hide away the black circles under my eyes.
I'm embracing them.
I'm just gonna wear a whole face mask while video chatting with you guys. But hey guys, this is my face. Hi.
2-6. I don't want to put any pressure on you or anything, but if you wanted to, we were just kind of doing a little round robin there, talking about moments that we found the most proud in our life. If there's one you can think of, by all means, you're more than welcome to share.
I think I'm good. I can't really think of anything.
No worries. I know it is a big question to just jump right into. With that
I
being,
had to like search back to my high school days, so it was far.
yeah, that was a good one, Sleepy. That was a good find.
No.
It was a deep conversation. I apologize.
No, it was
It's
good.
fine.
It was
no.
good.
like
Yeah, yeah,
I
I liked
like
it.
Yeah.
those.
But yeah, so on that note, everybody, thank you guys so much as always for joining in and doing this with me. Um, you know, in all honesty, no diss to anyone else, okay? I love Z-Chick, I love Funded, I love your mom, and all the rest of them. But definitely look forward to the three of you when you guys come on here. Just because each one of you always keeps the conversation going. You always have different inputs or takes on whatever the subject is, and yeah, I really appreciate that. Jimmy, it was great to have you back on after so long, and Sleepy and Cat Trooper. Again, like I said, I like having you guys on here because for me it makes it a hell of a lot easier when I got people that keep the conversation going. So yeah, thank you guys so much
Yeah, it's
for.
a two-way street. The conversation.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, you guys, said you guys have a really different outlook for each one of you, and yeah, it's nice to hear your opinion, sorry, on a game, even if it's just like one title. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And 2-6, thank you so much for like popping on and doing this. I think it's really fucking awesome. Just a guy I met yesterday, and you're really getting engaged with the community, and yeah, I appreciate that. I know you said you felt a little shy, but I think you did a fucking awesome job. So thank you
Hell
so
yeah.
much for joining in and doing this with us. I look forward to some more community nights with you.
Yep, anytime. It's been fun talking with y'all.
Yeah, it was fun talking to you too. And yeah, Sleepy, if you ever want to look into it, I can't remember who else suggested a movie night before, but maybe it was the Juggernaut. Someone did anyway, and they were gonna help me figure it out. But yeah, if you want to show me how it works on Discord one day, we could definitely do that if you guys want, or even just a TV show if you want to put that on. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and just let me know, and then we'll definitely set it up before the designated time and make sure everything works.
And Jimmy, I am looking forward to eventually a stream where you read this horror novel that you may or may not write, because I think that's pretty badass.
It's funny. I was thinking about that too. I was like, if I start writing it, maybe I would read it. Oh, you know what? I'll make it a redeem because
Yeah. Oh my god, that'd be a good one. That's a good
All right,
redeem.
so I had to save up my points now. All right, let's do this. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, that would be so badass. Every stream you get like another little part of that story.
I mean, yeah, maybe that'll be a thing.
It's like no
We'll see.
pressure, Jimmy. No pressure whatsoever.
No pressure. No, that's
No,
the
a lot
best.
of pressure. Love you, bestie, but a lot of pressure here.
They love to see me embarrassed. It's okay. I'm okay
It's
with it. I've
great.
accepted it.
It's great. Jimmy gets nervous on stream. It's just great. It's great
I
when he
turn
gets
into a
flustered on
tomato.
stream.
But yeah, you guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you everybody, of course, for tuning in and chipping in on Twitch with your comments. I appreciated it, and those who watched afterwards. And I hope all of you guys have a wonderful evening. Bye.
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 Alrighty. And yeah, so for the rest of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of this. Um, yeah, I don't know much more to say. It was a good conversation, good discussion, and a good bunch of people. I'm pretty happy with this one. You guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you next Tuesday for the next podcast. Bye.